dude. Yes, dude. Yes, dude. Yes. That's
Jesus.
the whole thing, dude. I'm telling you, compound. Dude,
tell me in the Uber, bro, or in the
car. Yeah.
That's so.
Dude.
So we've now pushed we're gonna push our reservation later because Vincent's rushing down the freeway with the driver.
Dude, so you guys, damn man, y'all going to the ice castles, dude. Did Vince get his fireball or what? Like, is it Kiro? What's good, bro?
We ain't even out in church, you finna take sands. Ride around with F and then we like to hold hands.
Yo, what up, family? We're on our bullshit today as usual. You know, we hit you with the clip. We got the full clip. We got clips lined up for days. How are you guys doing? How has the day been?
Kuro. When are you gonna bless my earbuds, bro? With the you know.
Yo, it's coming very soon. I will put up my hand in a moment. I'm just loading the clip. Fully loaded clips.
If I pull up to this bitch, she gonna moped it. So Kiro, bro, I was a little bit in and out of the couple spaces earlier today. It was a little bit early and I was working, but it seemed like a vibe, bro. We kicking off these creator spaces or what?
Yo, we are getting lit next week. We are definitely having our creator spaces. We're gonna take this shit into our own hands. Yeah, they're doing an excellent job with the resources that they're providing with. This has never been an attack on the people working for us towards our goal of creator sovereignty and the creator revolution. This is all about the people, man. And I got time. I'm almost out of this fucking cannabis company. They're going to have my bread for me.
us, by us, brother.
Yeah, bro.
Yes, sir.
I'm done with that shit, bro. I did exactly as I promised to my dad. I have a successful brand. I'm selling out of it. I'm getting out of it. And I'm having a great time. Now I got extra time for clones.
First and foremost, my G, congrats. You know, where we started to where we are right now, it's a blessing. So congrats to you. And the best is yet to come, though. You know what I mean, brother? So I'm excited for the next step in your journey, doing what you love.
And with that being said, brother, let's get it popping. It's Friday night. Let's go.
You know what I mean? So, get it.
It's going to be next week Tuesday, and yeah, it's going to be a creative space. Like Cass is going to do one.
Yes.
Tuesday.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. Yeah. But it's going to be, like I said, it's going to be an open edition, and it'll be open for 48 hours. So we pin up the rows. But yeah, I mean, Von Soul certainly has a piece in it as well, because he did one of the variant covers and Ohio did as well. And so I'll be inviting all those dudes and name, to come up on the stage as well.
So Shekinah, we can mint one of the variant covers.
Yeah. So the way it's gonna work is you mint one, and that'll be if you mint one, that'll be the original cover. And then if you basically mint two and burn one, and then you would be able to you'll get a random selection of the four variant covers. And then if you obviously like mint three, and then you'll get to choose which variant cover you want. But owning just one would get you the physical comic book.
Wow.
Fair now.
That's
Understood.
I've been beyond hype for this for a while. So I just want to say congrats. We're almost there. And
I know. Yeah, I know. I'm certainly ready, and certainly put a lot of work into it. And yeah, no, just certainly ready to see for people to, to see it and enjoy it. Certainly put a lot of work into the story. And yeah, I'll have the artist there as well. I think he'll be free. I'll make him free. So he'll be available to speak as well.
yeah, it's gonna be dope listening to like the full story of like just even like from like the background of how you decided to start and like where and why comics and why this character, just the little intricacies behind it, right? Like we see the final product, we see the covers and the storyline, but it's not. Sometimes we're not privy to like the little details. That's what's cool thing about like a Twitter space type of environment where we can learn a little bit more about the background and actually get like an emotional connection behind it, right? It's
No,
not
no,
just
no,
something you pick up.
absolutely. Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, and I'll repeat a lot of what I'm saying right now, but yeah, just a lot of it was it's a comic book because I couldn't afford not that I couldn't well no, I couldn't afford to take out that much money to have someone do like a 3D like some animated short, because that's originally what I wanted it to be was like I don't know if you remember like the Aku NFTs, like the chapters. So this is 2021. So I feel like so long ago, right? But essentially the Aku chapters was I can't even remember the dude's name. Carol would have to help me. That's how long ago. I can't remember like the creator's name. But he, he had this little astronaut like kid, and kind of featured him in these like just short NFT video clips, and the artwork was so clean. The 3D animation was so good, and I just felt there needed to be a female kind of like version, of that, not of the same thing, but just female representation, something for Black girls, and yeah, and so that's where the idea came. And then obviously the character itself is just loosely based on the clone that I have, which I say I did not mint. I didn't mint this clone, but I did. I think I traded it on the same day that we did mint. And so
That
yeah.
was a quick turnaround.
Oh no! I knew because I didn't. I wanted to trade because it wasn't the one. I mean, the one I minted didn't feel like me. So basically, the one I minted probably looks not like you, but it had a third eye. It was certainly a dude, and it had gold teeth, like gold grill. And I was just like, no, no. I was so upset. And then the other one I minted was a robot with the thermal jacket and like the robot arms. And I was like, okay, that one's cute if it didn't have the robot arms, but like whatever. I guess I'll hold that one. But yeah, no, just didn't mint. I'm pretty sure it was on the same day that we minted, if not the next day. And so yeah, I've held that clone since December 2021, or the one that I have now. And so yeah, so that's where it came from. I was like, yeah, like that character or this clone is Black like me, it has dreads like me, and heck yeah, And so started creating some IP, got the sneakers, got the, what else did I get? I mean, I using the IP in a lot of different ways, but knew that I wanted to do a comic. And I originally hired someone from Fiverr, and I liked what they were doing, but it wasn't the anime comic style that I wanted. So, and you probably, like, I could put those up and you'll see the drastic difference of that, of those pictures that I was putting up. But the thing is, those pictures that I was putting up, they are still the backstory of this character. Even though like the comic style has changed, and those panels are not, or that story is not featured in this first like issue. It will be featured right at the beginning of the second issue. I can certainly say that. But yeah, that's where it came from. I would say Aku, that NFT project was the initial
Michael
inspiration.
Johnson, I think.
Yeah, Micah Johnson, the ex baseball player, turned artist that put out that project. Yeah, I don't think it's doing too well right now, but his, not the PFP, but it's the initial one that he did with the 10. It's 10 animated like shorts as NFTs, and it was just the best 3D like art. And the people I was reaching out to early last year, I mean, just the quotes were just too much. And I was reaching out to people that were not even in the NFT space, and it was just still a bit much. And I was like, okay, I can't. This is a passion project. I can't be risking, that amount, for something that's a passion project. But yeah, I have no desire to make it a 3D now. I mean, I probably would love to do something, 2D animated, in the future. But yeah, that's the original story, or I don't know. Yeah, the original story about where the idea came from.
Well, I can't get like you can say that over and over and over again as you should, because there's so many people in this space. Like, so we were talking with Modest earlier, who's is one of the speakers, and he's like, okay, like we're just getting started. Like, he had his story and his vision of kind of what he wanted to do, and we wanted to wait until it's like, don't wait until it's perfect. Like, you just started it, right? Like Shakana, when you put your first shit out, like that's not even like what we're gonna see coming up, right? So like the power of just putting it out in the universe and getting it started, and then and working from there is actually a real thing. And that's what I did with, like, the Grand Rising. Like, I'm not really sure yet what's going to happen, but like I just wanted to put it out, and just get it out there in the universe. So that's what's up. Like, really, like I'm looking forward to hearing it in more detail. But the more people that can hear your story, the more people are going to get attached to it, um, and just show that love. So don't ever be afraid to keep sharing your story. We need it. More people need it to hear it. So what's up? What's up, Dre, Modest? How we doing? Aunt Ben, what's up, brother? How you made it?
What's up? What's up
What's
in Utah, man? Somebody speak to me about Utah.
Yo, Utah's fucking lit right now. We're waiting on Vincent. Vincent's in an Uber. Vincent's got a driver. We're late to our appointment. We were supposed to leave 16 minutes ago. Vince ain't here yet. So we're going to wait on Vince because you're not going to leave the squad like that, bro.
I had a question for y'all. So okay, so NFTLA is coming up. I don't know, like, do you think people would be down to do like a trip to like Yosemite? Since some people I mean, I don't know who else is coming for NFTLA, but NFTLA, those clones are already swole. It's already a big enough group, But like, what do y'all think about that? Is that something that could be an option, or no, or what?
The world is your oyster, Shekinah.
I've already been, so I've already been in Yosemite, but I thought it'd be something cool to do, since I don't know, it doesn't seem like the Utah meetup is large, which isn't a bad thing, but it'd be kind of cool to kind of share, a mountain experience with you guys. So that's why I had said that.
I'm down, man. You already know I'm down for any type of physical activity shared with friends. That sounded kind of crazy. Yeah, I would like that. That's I would enjoy that. Sure, why not?
So yeah, I mean, I guess I'll put it together once everyone starts talking about NFCLA and see who would be down to do something like that. I don't know what else is around, and around California. I mean, I don't want to go too far north, but I don't know outside of Yosemite. I don't know if there's anything else, that would kind of be similar to that.
Yosemite would be dope if we could swing it. I'm down. I'm actually planning. So if there's activities on the weekend, I'm actually planning on driving down from San Francisco to LA. So whatever it is, let me know, and we'll make it happen. I
We just
also,
got some more stuff in the pipeline for plans for NFTLA. Or should we call it, what do we call it? Outer limits or whatever the
I
hell?
mean, there's lots of stuff. We don't have to go to. I mean, like, there's Catalina Island. Like, how far is that from LA? Is
Not
that pretty
far at
easy?
all.
Yeah, I mean that would be cool. That's an interesting middle ground too, right? Because Yosemite would have to drive, right? People have to drive, like coordinate the cars. But with Catalina, it's just a boat ride, and that's a kind of a cool island thing. I do like the mountain idea though, like kind of doing a trip, touching grass type thing. But I don't
Yeah.
know. Let's throw some ideas out.
No, that would be dope. Catalina would probably be dope. I've never been there. I've never been to the
Neither have I.
mountains
I'm
there.
just I don't even know what I'm talking about to be honest. But I think
Yeah,
it would be
maybe not.
fun.
Yeah. We're putting it together. You know what I mean? Speaking
Ooh,
into existence. I'm definitely down.
Catalina's fun. I mean, it feels like you're somewhere else because it's just like a little island. You get to rent a little golf cart and roam around. I think there's a little casino there, and some like little
Oh, that'd
tourist
be cool.
traps. Like I've been twice, and you take a little ferry boat out there. But I would recommend it as like a day trip for sure.
Yeah, no, I'm down. I'm down. We don't have to just do uh regular nighttime meetup stuff. But no, that'd be fire. Depending on how long you guys are in town, we can definitely do something.
Pull up, Bombay.
Yo, Dre, I'm still trying to figure out where I'm going to stay during NFTLA. Like, I'm trying to stay up there the whole week, man. I'm going to stay, like, just so I can participate in everything. Everything CloneX LA is doing, I want to be a part of it. Everything is going on that week, I'm there.
Well,
Bro, y'all
this
should
is
just pop
Compound.
a
I'm
well,
house,
here. I'm
Airbnb.
here. I'm here.
All right, we're coming to get you.
All right.
All right.
not yet. Compound, I don't know, bro. I would say you could stay in my ADU, but I just flew my mom in 2 days ago. She's gonna be here for a good duration of time. So when I offered to you before, it was available now.
No,
Yeah,
Dre, I'm over here. I'm trying to. I might do a hotel or something to be honest, but I'm pumped for NFTLA, bro. Honestly.
yeah, it's gonna be lit, man. It's gonna be lit, man. That's all I can say.
Dude, y'all should just squat up, cop like a little Airbnb house or some shit, and just party. Got the pool in the back, whatever.
Bro, we're only gonna do that if the Bombay Digital is gonna come.
Are we good? We got everything.
We're only down with that if Bombay the Digital is gonna be there.
Bro, I'll be there digitally, dog. You already know.
All right, we're going to find Vince, man. Let's go. Wait, he's over here.
Where's Jace? Is Jace out there with y'all right now?
You guys go ahead. I'll meet you down there. No, dude. Jason's driving up here. I don't think he's here yet, though. He had to stop and get a bunch of merch. So, it's just right now me, Shaw, Aunt Ben, and Vince. We're about to go hit this like art feature. It's called Ice Castles.
How's the hotel in the area? Is it something do I need to bring my pistol?
Yeah, bro. You should probably bring that with you.
All right.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. It's not bad, dude. We're not in a bad spot. Vincent, though, he said it was bad.
Yeah.
One sec. I'm going to find this guy.
Sim came through with the clone, bro. He's not playing no games, man. He's not playing no games.
Hey. What's going on, everybody? I appreciate you having me back on. I do want to say one thing. The PFP that I have right now, I actually sold it yesterday during the surge in um, Blur, but I still have one more left. So I did end up, as I was telling you guys earlier, I did end up selling most of my clones, but I did keep one. I just haven't had the time or even the motivation to change the PFP. Um, but yeah, it all worked out for me. So I'm happy. I still got my clone, still got the egg with the clone. I'm just gonna have to. I'm just gonna have to change the PFP. I think I'll just change it right back to what it used to be.
Better do that ASAP, bro. Don't let Boo catch you with that PFP,
No,
man.
I know. I get lazy
Get some.
sometimes, man. I get into work, man, and I can't stop working, and then I completely forget. But yeah, that's why I told you, man, the whole time I was telling you, like, that's why I don't change my profile picture. It's just because it takes so much time, and it only takes 5 minutes. But like for me, it's like fuck, man, I don't really want to do it, but I did it for y'all. Uh, but I wanted to let y'all know that I got let go of 3 of mine yesterday. It was a very good trade. I'm very happy with it. But I do have one. Uh, I don't want to say forever clone. I just want to see where things go this year. But it's a very cool one, and I'm gonna change it to that here in a second. So I'm gonna put myself on mute. I'm gonna change it, and then we'll keep going. But
Yeah, bro. Don't let Boo see you, bro. If Boo see you out here false flagging, he gonna run you down,
yeah,
bro.
this one is somebody else's, but this one was my favorite at the time. But you know, it's gone now. So somebody has it. Somebody's happy with it. Cool. But yeah, I'm about to change it. Give me a second.
No, for sure. So does it mean that you're no longer fudding us in the discords either?
I can't fudge you right now because this was my this was my own. This was the one that I was using with the address that I had, and so I sold it. And so as soon as I got out of that CloneX holders chat, I couldn't get back in. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to take the clone that I have from the other address, transfer it
Yeah.
over,
So,
and then I'll be back in. But I'm not gonna be fudding. I only fud the team. I don't fud the community. That's how I like to keep it. So if I do
That's
fud,
crazy.
it comes from a place of love, not hate. That's it.
I feel you. That's what happens in domestic violence case too. They say they do it out of love, but whatever works for you, my man.
Stop, dude. Stop, dude. Stop. All right.
Yo, Dre's that guy where he doesn't even need to use his pistol. He's just gonna pistol whip you with that shit.
I don't want to be violent, you know what I'm saying? But I also don't want to be taken advantage of. So,
I love that,
you
bro.
know,
Don't take someone's life, just pistol whip them with that shit.
you know what I mean?
Yo, go check Columbo's profile.
Kira, what's happening now?
Yo, it's happening, guys. It's finally fucking happening.
Oh my gosh.
We run
Oh my
everything.
god.
Damn, bro.
Yo,
Oh
let's
wow.
fucking go. Let's go. I knew
That's
it.
awesome.
Yes. Ah! I
Here's
was
the
supposed to be on
craziest part
mute.
right
My
now
bad.
is that I'm in Compound's car and he's not in here, and I haven't even seen him yet, but I'm in his car. So
That man compound went out the back door and he got he got
Bro, I
stuck in the
went looking
trap,
for
bro.
Vince.
engagement farming on the space still, dude.
Compound,
I'm
how'd
here.
you
I'm
end
here.
up in the same situation in Miami
Bro,
now
I
with
was just about to
Vince?
say same way he described yesterday with soul, huh? In one way out the other way, huh? That is funny.
Somebody fill me in. What's everybody excited about? Somebody fill me in.
I'm excited about that. There's 3 Canadians on this on Bad Take now. I didn't know many Canadians, but like that's pretty dope. I didn't like every day I find out something new. Like the Chungos founders, he's Canadian too. So like we're taking over the space.
Yeah, we got guns over here too.
Yeah, you guys
What?
got me thinking about Dre pistol whipping someone now.
Only out of love, right? Right,
Only
Sim?
out of
I do
love.
this because
Always out of love. You only pistol whip anybody out of love. No
Dre's
hate.
tall as shit, so if he front hands someone, it might be more powerful than pistol whip, to be honest.
only out of love.
Yo, only if you got those
Always out
boots.
of
If you pistol whip someone in those boots, man, that would have been crazy.
I missed the boost, man. I ain't get them. I missed them, and I'm not paying. I'm not paying $2,000 for the Astros. So
Yo, Vince has his hand up. Yo, Vince, you gonna say something?
he's
Yeah.
looking for.
So thanks for respecting the hand, first of all. Compound's finally made in the car. And here he is.
Yeah, let's go to the hands. What's up, Vince? You still got your hand up.
I appreciate the respect on that one. I just want to say Utah, it's cold. It's not as cold as people might have hyped it up to be. You definitely need a jacket, but you're not gonna freeze yourself like some people had said.
what part of
Vince,
Utah are you at?
Sugarfoot.
Oh, he has his hand up. Yo, Vince, you have your hand up. You wanna say something?
Yeah. So what I'm trying to say is that it's so good. The food is so good, and I'm like going.
Compound. Can you hear Vince Ruggin sitting next to you?
Dre, it sounded like he was like, "Oh, that feels so good." I don't know what him and Compound are doing right now in the backseat of the car, but it's a vibe, bro. It's a vibe. Just so
All out of
everyone
love.
knows, we are live from Utah right now, on the way to the ice castles. We are all going to the ice castles.
This is
So
Bad
welcome.
Take, all caps, live at the Ice Castles, Salt Lake
Not
City,
recorded, by
Utah,
the way.
non-recorded. I got Vincent sitting behind me. I hear myself talking in the microphone. I'm in a feedback loop of my own voice. Does not sound great, but we're having a good time.
Vince got an orange mustache on his robot clone, which is pretty interesting. So shout out to Vince for that one. Yeah, you already know the vibes.
If you guys say something to Vince or Aunt Ben, it's because they have their volume down because we're just all hearing each other talk. So if they don't hear you, that's on them, and they're just ignoring you, to be honest.
Oh, why is this
Yeah, I do
unrecorded? I
want
came in hot today. Damn it.
it's dude. Whenever I host, it's not recorded because I'm getting tapped, bro. So
They don't
um,
have
Bro,
they don't have recordings in like the Japanese Twitter, unfortunately.
yeah, nah, it don't work out like that, girl.
it's Bad Take, all caps, bro. It's unrecorded.
Oh,
Like,
that's
you're
what
allowed
that
to come in hot.
means?
You're allowed to. Yeah, we literally created it last night. It's already tradition. But yeah, Bad Take, all caps,
You want to
unrecorded.
hear a good take?
Hero can come in hot.
You want to hear a
Yeah,
good
yeah,
take?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yo, we converted the number one maxi of Basie, J. Colombo, to a full clone profile. We are up, baby. We are up. There's only up for the creators of the clones. Oh, we're going places. They
Yo,
done
Kiro,
fucked
we
up
need
at
to
Yuga. I love Yuga,
Kiro, you got to do is
but they fucked up so bad.
you got to get his files, bro. Get his files over so we can get him some dope renders
Yo,
like ASAP,
yo,
bro.
my guy has like a killer computer. He is ready. I'm
I can't hear anyone, so I'm just gonna jump in. Colombo looks like he changed his PFP to his clone, so everybody should give him love.
Yep, that's the why that's the wave right now, Vince. We showing Clumbo love until he makes an artifact blade.
So I can like
NFT.
hear,
No,
I
no,
can
no, no,
hear,
no,
I
no,
hear
no, no, no,
noises
no, no,
coming
no,
out of
no,
your mouth,
no.
but I have no idea what you're saying.
That's how
Did
they
someone
lost him.
say FUD?
That's how they
Yeah.
lost him. No, 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 no,
Exactly.
no.
So
We don't do the
let's
logo.
keep it
We don't
chill.
do the logo. We keep it chill. We keep it chill, chill, chill.
So the good thing is that's already been
Yeah,
established.
you
Like
cannot do anything like
there's
that.
no gray lines
No,
around
there's
that.
no, yeah, 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 yeah. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yo, I had a great idea actually since like the last space was recorded. We should mint Vince's keyboard sound as an open edition.
That is absolutely brilliant. I'm here for that.
He said he wants fucking royalties.
Dude, we're blocking OpenSea. Only Blur royalties from now on.
Yo, I messed up so bad with that. Oh my god. OpenSea.
What happened, bro?
No, I have to. I'm gonna like. I made many mistakes. I like launched multiple issues of comics. That's why I never sold them, because I was like, yo, you can't even trade these on Blur. They were worthless. So now I'm gonna try and figure out a way to hide the contracts like I never did it. So I might turn it into some sort of fucking Easter egg hunt or some shit.
Wait, so you don't want your content on Blur?
No, I want it everywhere. I just don't want it on only OpenSea. That's the worst idea I've ever had in my life. I bought into the bullshit.
Okay, so wait. Does that mean like you can set your contract to be on one specific exchange only, or
Yeah,
what? Like exclusive to
OpenSea. Yeah,
OpenSea is what you're saying.
that's what I said it to.
Oh,
I messed
see
up.
what you're saying,
Yeah,
dude.
I'm just gonna get my holders to burn them, and then I'm gonna send them new ones.
Yo, how come this Colombo guy said I'm not wearing a JPEG from a company threatening to sue me? Can someone fill me
Yeah,
in on
so
that?
yo, basically, Yuga got ahead of themselves. They don't know. We are men of passion. This guy's the guy that brought me to NFTs for chaos, and I deliver. I definitely deliver on chaos. But with that being said, uh, he made a derivative of the logo because he owns assets with the logo on it, and in their terms of service, or whatever, their thing on their website, I don't even know what it's called. I'm a little bit stoned at the moment. It says that you can use it, but they decide to send a cease and desist, and now the clones have Columbo.
Well, no, I'm gonna back that up. So their terms of use is basically says you can do whatever you want with your ape, but you can't use the logo or the name Yuga Labs. So just like with Artifact, that's a whole other thing with Artifact. But the assumption
But
with
does that
Artifact is, oh,
supersede the
you can.
original?
Well, yeah, it does because they can change
Even
it,
even
and
if you've
that's
held it
you can
from the
always change.
original license, it does
Well,
supersede
no,
it.
no. If you look up Yuga, they filed a trademark for their logo and the name. So I understand like what he's saying, but when it comes to a company's logo and name, I mean, like
But the
you
but the
can't.
asset is inside of the logo. So
Yeah, no, yeah, no, I saw what he did, and funny enough, I know the lawyer that sent it to him. Um, so yeah, like. I mean, he can try to make his point and go after them, but they have a trademark on the logo and like the name, so that's what the issue is. But I did see it. I saw what he did, and I'm surprised they saw it. Like that kind of surprised me that they saw. I'm like, all right, and yeah,
okay, so
if anything,
at
but
this point in a non-legal but legal sounding opinion, because I don't want to put you on the spot on a weird tip on a Friday night, because that's weird. Um,
it's
how
Thursday.
much
You know that, right?
possibility of there being a collaboration is there? I'm thinking marketing here, Ethereum sales and marketing. If he had a comeback where he had a collaboration with that same piece with Yuga, and it was burned to a Yuga created asset for a T-shirt that they hired Nike to manufacture, we could probably convert their entire user base to owning clones as well. I say think outside of the box, and I'm way out of pocket on that one.
Dude, that's not out of pocket. That's out of the box, bro. And we have to think outside of the box because this is the only way we're gonna advance our space because we are decentralized maxis at the end of the day. So
Yo, Shikani, can we get the lawyer's name so we can send him a box of chocolates and thank him from the clone?
No, because no, you can't.
I
I
could give
mean,
you
they
his
have it
information.
posted.
I'll send the chocolate.
Yeah,
I'll do it.
they,
It's okay.
yeah,
Free
they
the
they have it.
apes.
Arrangements.
R.I.P. Harambe.
Yeah, because
Edible.
he posted the email that the guy sent him.
it's sticky because I thought like you could like alter the logo a little bit and I mean also like the board ape logo is just like an ape skull, right? But shit, whatever, bro. I'm Team Colombo, so yeah.
I'm sorry, I
It's
gotta be on
sticky.
the team of on the side of the law.
No,
I
that's
saw it. I thought it was cool, but they said something about it, and it's just like if they don't say anything about it, and they're having this issue with Ryder Ribs, it's kind of like,
right.
yeah.
And they gotta do it across the board, right?
I'm sorry,
But I
but it'll
wonder if
be
they could have
so
they
funny.
couldn't have handled this outside, like behind the
Yeah, he
scenes
just
with
better
like such
not.
a such a
They,
I hope
dedicated.
he doesn't list his
but
apes.
they did.
That's the only
But
thing
like no, they. No, I was gonna say no. They did handle it behind the scenes. He's the one who took the email that they sent, that the lawyer sent, and put it on Twitter. So I mean, it is what it is, and that's always obviously the yeah the risk that you run. But I
So it's
mean, he
funny.
can.
It's funny how we had like this long conversation about debranding with Artifact, and then and it's not just us, bro. Like this is everything, bro. Like that conversation that we had, Dre. That shit just got flipped on its face, bro. So, man, this is how this just proves we're at such infancy stage of this all, and the creators like Columbo are the ones that are going to push the needle to see what is right or what's wrong. So, a person like him has to go do it and take the arrow for a lot of people to learn. It's interesting to see, really.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
not.
but I mean,
Yeah,
no, but I think this is what happens when you have Web3 native companies that turn Web2. Like that's what it is because if Yuga isn't, I don't know, like all this investment, this $1 billion company and all this other stuff, they wouldn't care. So if he does this in 2021, like right after they minted or even during that year, I don't think it's he would get the response that he's gotten. It's the same thing with clones. I mean, people were doing all types of stuff with Artifact, and the guys are retweeting it and liking it, so it's just the change, and then yeah, Web3 to Web2 is what it is,
Who's gonna
and then
break
they
it
don't
to him that
educate
if
the
he does it with
audience.
a blade, it's over?
Nah, well, I mean, you'll see. I mean, that's what I'd say. It's possible, you would see, but I think it's likely it would be over. Get a letter from Nike or from Clone Law,
Well, the good thing is it's
Well,
been
we did.
clearly stated um, that we have to debrand. So it's already there from the get. Whereas there's not really many. It's not really gray. It's been like that. So we know. Everyone knows. Debrand and good to go.
Is it a trademark in the U.S. only, or
Which one?
like the BAYC skull?
I do not know that.
Because we got some Canadian folks here, like funnel it through us.
I think that may have like. I mean, Isn't that what's going on with kind of? Do you know anything about like the Bape Nike lawsuit? Because like Bape is a Japanese company, and like
Yeah,
is that similar? Like they had like the patent for the Air Force was like up, so they couldn't have sued him until now. I don't know, but region is interesting.
it was
I'd
they
be,
actually. Oh, you can go for it. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, I'd be shocked if Nike would allow that, their design patent or the trade or design patent on the Air Force One to expire. I mean, I'm sure they'd be firing a bunch of people in their legal department. I
Which
would
kind of
highly
I
doubt
think it was
that.
the
From what
opposite way. Like it was already
I know the story actually. It's not. It wasn't that it got expired. They just like swept it under the rug and like. There's rumors that they just let it be and let it grow. Right? They saw that there was popularity from Bape, and Bape spun off to do other things too, and continued on that path. And they're actually like I think they're suing them now. Right? So if you think about it, it's like they're suing them when they're much bigger now. They're trying to get a bigger piece of the pie, right? So that's what
Lit.
I believe, at least.
They're like the IRS waiting for you to not pay your taxes, and then they're just gonna be like, "Hey, man, you're rich now. What's up?"
Hey, big head. But I don't know about you,
Yeah.
but I didn't get into Web3 because of the law. So kind of so. Yeah.
Anyway, the Bape lawsuit is a trademark infringement. So again, it's trade dress is what it would be. And so again, that the design of the shoe, and then the thing with trademark infringement, the main thing is consumer confusion. Would someone look at it and think that it was a Nike collaboration or an Air Force One, et cetera? So
got it.
Well, like if you look at the Bape has this watch, right? It's called Bapex, and it looks exactly like a Rolex as well. So like a lot of streetwear does this too. Like that's the whole point of like a little bit of point of streetwear. It's like counterculture, right? They take they get inspired by one thing and then like they'll tweak it and make it different, I guess. And um like yeah, I don't know how to explain it, but yeah.
and just an FYI, so I did look up in the World Intellectual Property Office, and so yes, Yuga is. Let's see, where else is it? Yeah, it's trademarked in Japan, Korea. Where else? Oh goodness, Korea. Yep. More in Japan. Where else? Yeah, they had quite a bit. Yeah, I'm not seeing Canada, but definitely Japan and Korea is where I see it. It's still pending. So they filed in 2021. So
Yo, speaking about lawsuits, I'm gonna go finish this cover for Shakana before she sues my ass on this stage right now. So hope you all have a great day and love you guys.
Get it done. I'm looking forward to it, Vaughn. So
Later, so.
can I just say I love Maxim? Is it Maximoni? Maximoni? I think Maximoni. That clone. Oh my gosh, yeah. Just love looking at his clone. Just want to randomly say that. It's the yeah. Oh man, the Yu-Gi-Oh hair with the alien. Oh yeah, it's a beautiful clone.
My favorite is Pumpisha, actually, to be honest. Not gonna lie. Looks pretty fire.
Thank
Yeah.
you, bro. I appreciate it. Maxim Money is a goat. If you remember Monolith One, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
I think that's why he got hired for sure. I
I'm
remember
pretty sure
Monolith
that's why he
One.
got hired too. He's
Wait, can y'all give me a rundown?
No, refresh my memory because
all
Yeah,
right.
me
So
too.
he was on Twitter and he was like, I don't know shit about these Web3 terms, but I know he knew how to look at the contracts professionally, whatever. And as Artifact was working on the back end, he pretty much got to tell us beforehand what was going to be in there. So we knew kind of vials were in the contract, shoes were in the contract, and we were supposed to expect another Pretty much, he revealed Monolith One.
oh yeah, I forgot
Sorry
about
for calling you out if I wasn't supposed to say that, but yeah, that's exactly why I know Max the Money.
I mean,
No,
no, but that's what happened, and we were all on like Spaces. I don't know, maybe like 200 people in the room in like Spaces, and Cass was leading it, and we were all guessing, and we were all wrong, and he came up with Alpha, and he had it all right. So, and he was posting screenshots, so we could all see.
I remember that. I definitely did declare that it was shoes, but I didn't say dunks. I said Jordan ones, but I definitely remember that. That was a great time, man. What a time to be alive.
If it wasn't for Jay Topcat,
Don't
we would
remind me.
never have gotten out of that situation. That was ridiculous.
Oh yeah, the 7-month quest.
Are y'all down
Yeah.
for another 7-month quest?
No, I bought
Buckle the fuck
Digi.Doctor
up.
so I could do 6-day quests.
I'm scarred for life. I don't want to do any more quests. Just open it, bro.
Man, I love those quests, man. I love the adventurous side of it all. But 7 months, that's close to dropping a baby off. You know what I mean? I'm a max mentor, but I'm tired of doing that.
Okay, like never mind. So you still, whoever got me on this, I'm still on this. So yeah, so the ape logo. So the name is in a couple of different countries, but the logo is, my goodness, it's like everywhere. It's like they've in Costa Rica, Morocco, like yeah, just all the countries that you
Well,
can.
I've been to Morocco,
Mozambique,
right? And there's like these
Mexico.
markets. Are they gonna go to like some random market where there's a guy selling like fake baked merch? I mean, BAYC merch. You know, like
Not if it's not worth it. I mean, they probably send like a cease and desist, but they probably if yeah, if money isn't, if it's not worth it, you're not gonna file like a lawsuit. But if they
yeah,
need to make
like
a point, they'll do it. You know.
I'm being sarcastic a bit, but like like Colombo sold. Like, how much did he sell that for realistically, right?
Enough to get the attention for them to get that letter in the mail or email.
I don't even think it was enough for the letter. I think it's because of the Ryder Rips
Yeah.
thing to kind of just yeah. I think that's the real reason because I don't know how much he made, but I don't think he made as much as Ryder Rips did with the marketplace. So I think it's more so yeah. Let's keep it even kill.
It's like 2.5 ETH probably. It's not real money. I just don't personally understand it because the asset is inside of the image. So
Debrand, that's the word of the night. Change the subject. What's going on in Utah? Is it
Not even about Utah. While we have Rose up here, because I pinned some dope shit that Sonomine has been putting out, and I'm curious. I don't know like what's going on for All Star Game. Like I got a dope render. They got these All Star these player profiles. Like Rose, can you leak some alpha for us if you're here? Ben, talk to us, bro.
Ben's not listening right now, so it's a perfect time for Rose to leak alpha. They're talking in the back seat, like drop a Rose. Tell me.
Well, because of the NBA All Stars, our Tsunami team wanted to make sure that we can represent our clones, right, and align because Aunt Ben was going to make it out to Utah. And then it so happened that there's this great meetup, and now there's a party, and there might be some presentation of stuff that we might be doing. But our team has been building, designing, like mad. We're still working on season 1, so there's still more to come. But this was a great chance for us to at least put out some things and love this whole like team aspect with the trading cards because it's like to reintroduce our team because we were on Boo Space, gosh, in November, which seemed like many moons ago. But we're still, we meet every week, bugging each other every day, creating stuff. But yeah, this was just something fun, to get clones out there. What better way, right, to kind of show us kind of vibing with something that is in the real world with NBA All Stars, and it goes like Ben mentioned. It's all about the culture, so wanted to make sure we can also represent and kind of just showcase the jerseys, East versus West, and all that.
Nah, these look dope. Tell Ben that he or whoever did a great job on these trading cards. I might have to print one out of mine. Get that little cardboard uh trading card with my other one because they look dope, dude. I might have to. And Rose, are they gonna be wearables at some point, or is it we just preparing it?
Nothing on that. Be like tight lip on that part. But
Yeah, yeah. Okay, okay.
with the trading card, Bombay, you know how you all at CX Tokyo did the NFC cards? Like this could be a fun NFC version for us to do. So I might just whip it up for the team. I can't do the whole 3D highly developed thing of a QR code scan. I might just do it so it's a QR tap to your Twitter profile.
And
That
you
I
know
could
what?
do.
Not this, but you know what, Rose? I can't do that either. But there are people in our community that can do some dope
Yes,
AR stuff.
I
So we might have to
know. I
tap in,
know.
and that can be just like solo too. Like all you need is a QR code, and you can get it spun up on yourself and the NFC. Because I also like when you guys are going to like NFT LA, NFT
Right, right.
NYC, like business cards are cool, but like
Hmm.
these like NFC chip cards that you keep on you, and you just got to
Yeah,
tap and goes to your Twitter or whatever. Like I
yeah,
think that's the wave. Even like in like businesses and
for
conferences in
sure.
general, bro. Like just like
So
tap
Yeah,
to
yeah.
click.
We did that
so
for
I'm in.
Econ Bombay. We actually had a couple Tsunami cards that took us to. It was a menu. It was a link card, so it takes you to kind of a customized website. So I set it up so it took us to our Discord, Twitter handle, as well as a checkout page for our T-shirt. So it's powerful for sure, and I think for what it's printed on, that was like just a standard matte black. But now
Yes,
that we're designing it, hmm
eco-friendly, safe paper,
yeah,
and it's like
true, true.
technology friendly, and it's dope. It's cool. You just tap it and go. I like it.
So I'm an iOS engineer, right? I work for like Canada's biggest sport. It's like the ESPN of Canada. It's called Sportsnet. So I'm making like their next gen app and stuff, and like we do a lot of AR as well. And there's something called App Clip that Apple uses, so you can even leverage that if you ever like. You can hit me up anytime. Could show you some of the stuff I've worked on and stuff. So yeah,
That'd be
just wanted
great.
to show
Thank
that.
you.
Yeah.
On a random note, guys, I don't know if anyone cares, but there's like a 10K TF event that's being live streamed, and I think it looks pretty cool. And I don't know if something's gonna happen, and I'm watching it right now, and it looks pretty sick. So if you guys want to watch it, I'll pin it to the top right now.
Yeah, pin it up, dude.
Yeah, I think it's the G tags. I bought a G tag at like point 0.5 2 or 3 weeks ago. I just saw a bunch of apes like talking about it, and then I looked into it, and it's supposed to be like 10K of TF's like next PFP. So I bought it, and it's like at 1.3 now. I
Yeah,
checked
I
this
grabbed
morning.
I grabbed two at point 4 as well. I'm hoping that something happens tonight with that, but it's looking like something might happen. Let's see.
All right, let's talk speculation. Let's talk usual.
Speculation? This was my speculation, and it's a good take, a crazy take in my opinion,
Let's hear
based
it.
on this. All right, so Wag My Son is the main dude for 10K TF, like their like main character, and it's like a new Tokyo vibe. That's what it's called. I'll skip through all the long extra words. The first thing that came to my mind is a Yuga Labs anime PFP to compete with Azuki. Is that crazy? Is that a crazy take? I just feel like they thought about it
It's
and
not
they're like,
crazy at all. Kind of genius.
because they're
It's
like,
kind of
no one
genius.
else can make an anime PFP right now. Everyone else who's kind of tried to make one with real competition, other than Valhalla, I think is valid. But like all the other ones that tried to compete, there hasn't been a real anime competition, and I feel like Yugo was like, let's
I
see
think
what
I think
happens if we do
Valhalla
this.
isn't really competing. They're just like
Uh-huh.
it's more of a community for like gaming, and that's
Mhm.
more of it. But like definitely, I could see that, especially with the theme that they have, and it like with Wagmi-san and it being Japanese, I can definitely see that. But I would consider like clones. Honestly, there's a lot of Japanese anime-ish aspects as well. You know what I mean? Like it's like 3D as well. Honestly the only 3D collection that's really good, right? So yeah, I don't know. Honestly, in terms like Yeah, I'm not gonna say much actually. I'll keep my mouth shut.
So do you
They're
guys
gonna make him
that's
only
what
4. So go ahead.
you guys think that's what Jonah is referring to at the pin suite at the top?
I
Hello.
mean, Yuga Labs already acquired 10K TF like a few months ago, so I don't know if that could pour into what that guy's talking about. I'm pretty sure they already have the funding because of Beeple and Yuga and all that stuff. But who knows? It's possible.
So he said though it's not on 1/4 because I heard a lot of people saying on 1/4 is getting bought by Yuga,
Yeah.
and that's why the price is pumping on those. But he did that.
You know what I think it is? I give you one guess. I think it's has to do with Animus and CloneX.
Don't say it, bro.
I do. I think that these are my thoughts and opinions, right? We getting way too many hints about this next level project, right? Too many words about it being the next IP, comparing it to building something up to compete with Marvel. I think it's gonna be next level like that. But of course, like I said, this is just my thoughts and my thoughts alone. Not the
I
question.
thought about the same thing, but then I thought out of all people, they would already have the funding. No,
Well, yes, when you talk about their project that is with Nike, been acquired by Nike, CloneX, right? Artifact, right? But this is a different, and they keep talking about how different it is from CloneX, right? It's his own project, it's his own lore, it's his own direction. With that being said, I'm thinking it opened it up to do more things on its own. Like if we keep in CloneX as a luxury brand that does luxury items, right? Forgeables and digital luxury items. This gives Animus the space to do other things in a different sector.
Well, I can agree if you reread that, right? Reread that tweet. It says what I can say is there's unexpected NFT PFP, and then it changes. It says on the market well too actually, right? So he could be referring to both.
Exactly. Right? That makes sense too. And he does. If you go through the comments, he says all of the things that is not. I haven't seen one that said CloneX.
and how do we know this
How is
guy
it
isn't?
unexpected though? Because Animus is an expected project that's gonna come out with IP. It's not really like unexpected.
I mean,
First,
unexpected. It's got flooded to hell. Like everybody, they was calling this CloneX. They not looking for nothing over here. And a lot of people, what I've learned, don't even understand what CloneX is and what they do. So that keeps it in the unexpected. Just because we're fully immersed into this ecosystem, it's been shown that a lot of people aren't and have no idea what the hell's going on.
What if this
uh,
guy's just engagement farming and talking out of his ass?
I mean, Jonah likes to do that, but I think he dropped some good links as well. So
My question is where is he getting this alpha? You know what I mean?
I
Like
mean,
who's leaking this information, right? Like I want to find that guy. That guy.
I mean, someone did buy 130 clones the other night too. So
for no
now you guys are
reason.
making me scratch my head.
Think about it. Put the two and two together. Look at the people who jumping into the project, right? And how much they're jumping into the project. Somebody over there. Somebody. It's a hole in the ship somewhere. Some water's getting in, and some people know. And it's the high moving, high ranking people in this sector. What's his name? Brother Malachi, whatever his name is. He got in heavy. Somebody unknown. 300 clones sold. Like, you know what I mean? Like, put the pieces together out of nowhere. Floor rose from 4.
That's one thing that made me confident about clones, other than the fact my crazy post and me tweaking out about the price. After the Blur airdrop, I was like, when we were talking the other night with Vincent, I think it was Vincent. Someone was saying after the Blur airdrop, they think floors were gonna tank because there weren't gonna be any bids and stuff like that. So I was scared that it would go down more. But what made me confident again was really that once everyone got their free money, they ran straight to CloneX, which is amazing. That means everyone kind of knew in their head, like, oh shit, clones are too cheap. Like, I got to cop one at this price. Like, that was one of the, even though nothing's even going on at the moment, everyone who got that bread was like, yo, got to cop a clone. That was like top 5 in on the charts, on the trending, in volume. So that's what made me think, like, okay, well, we're good.
We are that blue magic, man, for sure.
All
I'm
right.
saying.
So can I play the devil's advocate on this real quick?
Of course,
Uh,
Sim. Don't beat us up too badly, though, bro. We
okay, no, I'm not, but okay. So definitely a lot of speculation about what Animus is or Animus or the new project. I'm holding some eggs for sure, just because I'm expecting something crazy, and that's why one of the reasons I kept one of my clones, um, just specifically for that reason. However, I will say this: it's very suspicious to me that after everybody got their airdrop, we have been trading back and forth, and the sales are only happening on Blur, and the sales aren't going for mid tier. They're not going for top tier. You'll see here one and there. You'll see one here and there, but that's not really the case. What's happening here, in my opinion, just based off of the trading volume and what I'm seeing as far as like the floor goes, what's been happening here lately is there's an airdrop announcement of the next airdrop, and it's going through I think like March or something like that, right? And it's you get points based on listing and or bidding. And I think what people are doing is they're using clones specifically because there's a lot of liquidity there, and what they're doing are they're they're using clones to wash trade, and I think that's what's happening right now. I don't know if they are going to um, get caught doing that, but I do believe a lot of the volume that we've had for the last couple of days after the airdrop has been dropped for everybody, and after everybody's been able to kind of work with the airdrop, whether they wanted to dump it or keep it. I know that the volume increased significantly. There is no other reason for the volume to increase significantly because there has been no announcements, no hints, no nothing like that. So the only thing I can see here is that people are using CloneX, specifically Artifact, to wash trade. You can see that the eggs are not doing that well. They are actually dropping in price. You can see other Artifact NFTs, they're not doing that well. There's nothing going on with any of those. Um, it's only focused on the clones, and I think the reason for that is people are buying in large amounts. Of people who have money, whales, they're buying in large amounts just so they can resell. I actually saw somebody yesterday who bought I think 30 clones, and what they did was they bought a bunch at the floor, and then um, they posted them, they listed them on Blur for like 17.99 or something like that ETH. So I think what people are doing is they're using the system to kind of game the next airdrop for Blur. Just my opinion. Again, I don't know. I
Well,
could
Tim, you're
I
you're 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 not wrong. And to be fair, it happened across the board with Doodles, CloneX,
right.
Beans, Pudgy Penguins. It's not just Clone. It just was a
Correct.
market thing.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
good thing,
They're,
what I was
they're
seeing
using
was,
the most liquid. They're using the most
yeah,
liquid and
yeah, yeah,
able
I
to
think
right,
it's
trade.
right,
a mix of both though, because I know a lot of people who got free money and
and bot clones.
they were
Absolutely,
like,
I
"Yo,
do.
bro,
Yeah,
free clone." Yes, there's wash traders, but in the last few days, there's been a lot of mid ones selling, sure, but I've seen like 3 undeads sell in like one day yesterday, or like saw a few top tier ones. I saw a DNA sell for pretty cheap, but I just think it's yes, I think there's obviously people in the mix doing their wash trading, but I think this time around, compared to the first time around, a lot of people are spending their free money and actually buying one to have one as well as
You're right.
washing them.
You're right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I think there's a lot of that going on as well. I think people who were sitting on sidelines and were able to get that airdrop, I think what they did was they 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 dumped it and they went into the projects that they think are blue chips, or maybe in the future will be blue chips. Now that gives me confidence that Clone X are still in the game for that blue chip title, and it gives me confidence that the reason people are wash trading Clone X's is because they see it as a top tier NFT project. So that gives me a little, that should give everybody a little bit of confidence that this is a project that's going to be around for a while. And but I just don't want anybody to get excited that there's going to be some secret announcement coming out that you know, that we don't know about, and that's the reason for the volume. Like Bombay said, it happened across the board with all the top tiers, and that's the thing that keeps me happy, knowing that along with all the top tiers, CloneXs are right there. Everybody's wash trading that right now, and I don't care what they're doing. They can do it all day long, as long as the attention is here, and if the team can deliver on this new project, I think we're going to be just fine.
So like you guys are all right, but also the people got a lot of FOMO, right? In terms of seeing how much blur people got. So people are definitely participating right now. Like everything's up. Even all of crypto is up, right? The second thing is like, okay, what is a blue chip, right? Like in terms of doodles before, when it was at its peak, everyone's like, oh, this is a blue chip, it's a certified blue chip. Even cool cats at that time, right? It's something that makes something a blue chip is sustained success, right? So like it's not about what's gonna happen now or next year or in 2 years. It's what happens in the next 5 to 10 years, right? And like CloneX doesn't have to worry about that. Like I mentioned yesterday, Nike knows exactly what they're always on point. You know what I mean? They're always on point. They do everything precisely. Like for them to acquire artifact, this is their testing ground, right? In order to make their moves, Nike can tweet out right now, or they can create a whole marketing campaign for CloneX right now, and it would shoot up to 20 ETH, right? But I don't think that's their objective. Their objective is to really build everything out, and really see what works and what doesn't work, and like this this is like the next stage of the web, right? This is identity, especially for Nike's always been about identity, right? It's like Mac versus PC. That was all identity. Same with it's the same thing. If you see it in the culture, and like when Drake says checks over stripes, you know what I mean? It's always been about identity. So CloneX is definitely a blue chip in my opinion, right? Like I hope it goes down a bit more, to be honest, because like I'm trying to get my bag and buy some more, right? Like fuck what the price is today or tomorrow. Like I want to get in now and like get in soon, and be able to hold it for like 5 to 10 years at least. So yeah, that's just my take on it.
Yeah, that's a super great take. If you're looking out long term, right? What do Artifact have in their bag, right? They have one of the biggest companies behind them. Um, is is it going to be easy for them to fail? No, but they're I think everybody in the community and outside of the community, I think people kind of realized over the last few months that some things need to be changed and tweaked a little bit, and they need to take a different direction. I think all of that has been reverberated a million times, but um, yeah, possibility of them failing at this point is very slim. But succeeding and being that one company where they are, or that one project where they are like leading the way in innovation, and becoming that next Disney, or whatever, that's going to take some work now, just because a little bit of trust has been lost there. And you're right. I think a lot of people are waiting for the prices to drop. And I think a lot of people did pick up after the blur drop. I think a lot of people did pick up CloneXs because they knew that picking up one just for the sake of having Nike behind them is probably a good bet, right? If you have like a machine behind you, it's probably a good bet, right? Um, but we'll
The way that I think
we'll
of it is like you know when Nike acquires a new athlete and they have like say LeBron or the next string of athletes and they create a sub brand, right? The way that I look at CloneX is like that. It's their baby for the next generation of the internet, of the web, of branding and marketing, right? So like when you look at like a guy like Kyrie Irving in his rookie year, he's not gonna get like 100% focus, right? They're gonna really refine exactly what they're gonna build for him, right? And they're gonna refine it until and they're gonna strategize for the future, right? When it hits its peak and it hits its stride, and that's what they're looking for. And they can release everything right now. They probably have stuff right now that they've been conceptualizing that no one knows about, right? But like you gotta have your cards. You have to have cards under your sleeve and really plan it out and like strategize it. And that's what Nike has always done, right? I'll give you guys a story. I'll give you guys an example, right? So when Colin Kaepernick, when the stuff was happening around then, the sentiment, a lot of the news and the media, they were going against him, right? So Nike thought that was the sentiment that like the general public doesn't like Colin Kaepernick, but Nike's ahead of the game in every aspect, right? Even technologically. So what they did instead is they used data scientists to scrub the internet, and especially Twitter. They realized the people actually were rooting for Colin Kaepernick. So then they signed him to a deal for it was a $1 million deal, and he wasn't playing at this time, right? And the public is like, and the media, where they're like scrutinizing Nike, and they're like, this is a terrible deal, like $1 million, that's nothing, right? They released that campaign. There's people that were burning his stuff too that were buying it, but also the general public. They made about $30 million within a week, right? And they really planned that for like 6 to 8 months, right? Even though it's one of their shorter campaigns, they scrubbed just them scrubbing Twitter. They know how powerful platforms like Twitter, etc., are, right? And that's probably how they found Artifact and NFTs. They're probably looking at all this stuff going on and really planning it out. Like great companies, um, the information does not leak from those companies. You know, they work like the CIA, right? Because those secrets are worth like millions and billions of dollars. So yeah, I think like CloneX is definitely a blue chip, and it's not something to be worried about for sure.
That's a fact. They even dropped the Air Force Ones, the black Air Force Ones for Kaepernick. I remember all of that. People was burning all of their stuff because of the
Yeah,
outrage.
they even
But that,
kept Travis.
I mean, but you know how that works. But yeah, it was an outrage for all of that stuff. So yeah, what you're saying is right on point.
uh, on that point.
Basically, I'm FOMOing right now. I need a clone soon.
I'm glad I kept mine, or at least one of them. But I did want to ask this, and I don't know what the general sentiment is on this point, but I I was there since the inception, and I've seen the team work together, and the three founders, Zap, Clef, and Benit. Um, do you guys ever think that it's a possibility that the band might break up? And if they do, um, what would that do to the brand itself? Do you guys think that would you guys, if somebody broke off the team and they wanted to start their own project, would you guys follow them, or do you guys just feel like it's not going to happen, that the team would break up? Because honestly, I haven't seen them together in a long while. I think they're all doing their own thing, and it just feels like maybe the team isn't really.
If I can interrupt,
Yeah.
I know they were all together a week ago at the Nike Oregon
And-
campus.
exactly. And they went to a basketball game.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So again, I probably don't know as much as you guys do. I'm just. Um,
Instagram stalking. Instagram stalking.
oh, okay. Okay. I should probably start doing that too. Okay. All right. All
Like
right.
an
So
extension, my
the
friend.
team is strong. Is
If
what?
the team did break up, every person on the team have a specific, intelligence in what they do, and if they do break up, they'll probably create their own team, and it's just gonna expand the ecosystem in a sense. And I'll be supporting them if that's the case.
Okay. Yeah. 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 I like all of them individually as well, based on what they do and how they interact. But I haven't seen them myself in a while together. I know they were super huge when they launched the Theo shoes. That was way back in the day, and they were always together. And for some reason, I don't know. Maybe I'm not getting enough engagement on Twitter, and like you guys said, I probably stalk their
I'm
Instagram a
gonna,
little.
I'm gonna help you out. Even back then in 2021, they were not together. They were in 3 different countries. I want to say almost the whole time, but for most of that year, they were in 3 different countries. Because if you think about it, at some point, like I know that for a fact, but aside from that, if you think about it, like I remember, I don't even know what year, maybe in 2022, one of them, I don't know which one, put out a tweet or they put out a picture or something saying that they had not all been together in person, since like Japan, which would have been sometime in 2020 when they originally, yeah, it's like 2020 or 2019. So they are very rarely together because you have Benoit who lives in France. You have Chris that's in Utah, and then I mean I thought Zapteo lived in Miami, but he be in Costa Rica too. So I don't know where that brother live at.
Yeah, Zap
So
everywhere, man. I don't even we can't even keep track of them. But yeah, go ahead.
He probably has clones, right? It would make sense.
Well, no,
Drop,
to
drop the
your question,
mic, bro.
huh?
For sure. No, for sure. Drop the mic. That's
To answer
good.
your question, I think everybody would be strong enough to handle their own and have their own brand anyway. You know what I mean? Because they all specialize in their own situation.
Correct.
Like
Yeah.
we know Zap is about the kicks and the wearables, and we know Chris is about the storyline and the lore, and we know that Benoit likes his video games. Well, they all like their video games, but that's what I see him paying attention to the most when I'm
Right. Yeah. Me too.
looking at that. So I think it'll be dope. You know what I mean? It's kind of like Outcast breaking up. It'll be sad, but you could still get 2 for the price of 1. But in this case, it'll be 3 for the price of 1.
Okay. Yeah. 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 So like I said, I was just wondering because I haven't really paid attention too
Well,
much.
I've actually talked about this earlier about provenance, and like you can't expect NFT founders to be with the project. Like you can't expect the CEO to stay with the company for 10, 20 years, right? Like people move. Like that's natural. And like it's ridiculous to ask an NFT founder in any project to stay with a project forever, bro. Like it's not gonna happen. So it's like what projects can be able to have the provenance, to have the art, to have that historical cultural impact, to be able to leave literally if all founders left be okay, right? Like I for example, like if Bored Ape, if like Yuga were to go under, or if the founders were to retire, like they have enough cultural impact to be able to be good. Like they'll be fine. Like they'll just be a pop culture item, a luxury and ticket item, right? And I think with clones, if you have the founders to leave or retire, like we'll be fine because it's a Nike. It's like we have the provenance of being like that Murakami art, the Nike acquisition, 3D avatars, like. But this is my opinion, right? So like it's like what punks look at. Who's the founder of punks, bro? They're just chilling, straight up. Like they're just it is what it is because of provenance. So that's I've always came to like have to realize that like I don't know if these founders are going to be with these projects forever, bro, and it's a ridiculous ask. So it's like what projects are going to be good without it? That's and again, like what Modest is saying, like I bought this for like a 10-year type of deal, right? So I'm locked in 10 years. So might have a different, but there's all the other NFTs I buy for 2 weeks because I want to flip it. So there's a different intentions of when you of buying and holding, and you just gotta realize that, right? So yeah, that's my thoughts.
No,
Yeah,
that's straight
kind
up.
of it's kind of in relation to just fashion in general, right? So you got like luxury brands that stays up in value, and in the future it goes up in value actually, and then you got the trends that people buy because it's in trend, and all of a sudden it drops in value like two times less, right?
I
I
was
mean,
gonna
yeah,
say that the maturity of a brand is when you don't have to associate to the founders all the time. So the fact that we are all still clinging to the three founders and hoping that they engage with us just shows where we're at in the maturity cycle for sure. And I think it'll grow, it'll change, and I think hopefully with more time and more progress, you know,
That's very
Artifact will
true.
be known as standalone, and that's when the brand is valuable because you don't want the hero, the savior, the founder to be the critical thread that ties it together because that's not sustainable and it won't scale. And I think for us within just the ecosystem we want Artifact to scale big, and I'm not talking about like onboarding millions when we can't even onboard thousands or tens of thousands more. So I think that's why it's like give them a little time because I think they need that machinery to build momentum to get going so that Artifact is known by itself. And even just on from a handle perspective, like the Artifact handle should be very loud and proud and clear and not be dependent on the three founders retweeting or supporting it. It should be really all eyes and signals on the brand.
Yeah,
I
the
agree.
way I look at it is like Artifact and CloneX. It's like an athlete, right? And it's in high school right now. It's just getting its reps in. It's a top 100 recruit, and it's like the Michael Jordan. Yeah, it got cut. The floor got cut, but he's gonna be the goat. He's gonna be the goat, and you just got to give him time, and gotta wait till he gets drafted. And when he gets drafted, you gotta wait till like those sneakers hit. Hit the market, and we're like y'all are gonna be winning. So hopefully I will too soon.
It's interesting just to talk about it from as a like not an Artifact thing, but like as an NFT thing, right? And like these projects aren't even maybe a year in, right? Like I remember working for a startup software company, and like they didn't even have a product out for a year. Like they're still in development stages. It's crazy how fast this pace moves. And I wonder when we will start seeing like founders get burnt out because of just like the crazy demand that is put on them in the space, or do they love it and it's just a different breed of um uh like it's just a different industry. Like I kind of like, do you treat NFTs as startups, or is it more like
I think
um yeah, I
I
don't know.
think like startups, like they have a lot of problems with like
Sorry.
it's all good, it's all good.
Yeah, I would say I treat them as
No,
startups.
you can go
Especially
Modest.
too.
I just by
Oh,
accident
okay.
muted everybody.
Sorry, sorry.
I
It's all
like
good.
how he mentioned Michael Jordan because Adidas faded Michael Jordans and then Nike picked them up.
So I used to work at a lot of startups, right? And like the biggest problem with startups is that they're actually not trying to look for profit, right? They're trying to look for runway. They're trying to get cash flow investors, and once they when startups die, they run out of runway, right? There's no one there to fund. There's no VCs to back them up. With NFTs, like you are the like your clients are the VCs, right? That's where the runway is coming from mainly. There are still, but then there's like the added layer, right, where there are the VCs that pump in money and see what's gonna happen. But that's the crazy thing about Web3, right? Like you could be a nobody and come in and have an idea, and if you have the skills, right? If you have the skills, you can create something out of nothing and create like look at all these brands, right? Like all these founders, they're not even a year or 2 years old, and people are flooding them constantly. Like the space is so new. Imagine you're a startup and like you just started like 2 years ago and you're making revolutionary tech. Like if you're an Apple, right? Like Steve Jobs when he was creating Apple, it took 10, 15 years, right? Like it took Amazon 10 years. Like it took what's his name? Jeff Bezos 10 years to make $1 million. But then once he made that $1 million, the next year he made $1 billion, right? That's 10 years. It's been 2 years or a year, and people are constantly on these like founders' backs, right? Like people just gotta lay off of them and just let them grow and do their thing, right? And I think it's there's a lot of like toxicity in this space, and like a lot of people just people are very greedy. There's a lot of greed, but it's gonna change, right? It's gonna change once it grows. Like the space itself is in an infant state, so yeah.
Do you
Well,
think do you think they're gonna work together, or is it gonna be like how you mentioned, Amazon and Apple, and they're taking other people's ideas and implementing them in their project and basically stealing ideas before they even release it. Do you think
So like
NFT is gonna be like that, or you think they're gonna be working together and in a sense like grow together?
Actually, I had a question like that for Alex, for like Valhalla, the Valhalla founder. He has a lot of experience building, right? And he made a really good point that like really stuck with me. And he's like, the market right now is basically with all these NFT projects, it's P2P, so player versus player, right? When money comes into a project, it's coming out of another project, right? So right now, it's like it needs to evolve into a place where there's money coming outside of the space, right? Instead of it just switching hands constantly.
Well,
And
that's actually why I'm bullish on Alex, because he knows that like there's you have it's important to have like a large long term vision for a project, but like right now it's about keeping your holders happy. That's the meta we're in. Like whether founders like it or not, like it's about keeping your holders happy, keeping them engaged, keeping them buying, and that's it. Like bottom line, bro. Like that whole
because
mass
that
adoption meta, bro. Like remember a couple months ago, Dre, it was all about like what project is gonna bring on board millions. Now, scrap it. The onboarding can wait. Let's just keep your holders happy, and that's the meta we're
yeah,
in. Straight up.
keeping the community going. No, that's for sure. But like Modell said, it's like creating the runway, and they want to build more vast um, ways to take things to the next level. So they need an extended runway. But it's all under the same umbrella, like Rose said as well. Like you want to be able to have a project or a brand that's away from founders, like Steve Jobs and Apple, and how it converted over to Tim Cook, and it's still Apple. It didn't crumble. It didn't get rotten. You know what I'm saying? So they're looking to do things on that level, but we all know how fast Web3 space is. Like weeks feel like months, months feel like years. And that's why it's the pressure for people or from people for them to perform. Because we wait a week and we like, bro, it's been three months. What's up? We need something. Where y'all at? What you know what I'm saying? So it's a totally different space. But I do think with Web 2 trying to come in and establish their dominance, these companies who were running things in the Web 2 realm, they're looking to solidify themselves in the Web 3 lane. They're looking to come in and take it to that level of having it forever brands and having it in a way where they're establishing dominance in their own way in a Web 2 type of way. And it's coming because we see these other companies jumping in here, really pushing their buttons, really trying to bogart their way into the door.
They're waiting
So
to see the winner. I've
yeah,
been watching it with the team I see, like the team I've been working with. They've been waiting to see like, okay, is this team gonna do well? If they do, contract, you know. So they're really waiting to see what Web3 company is like trying to come out with a product that they, in a sense, would help them out and bring on board them easily. Maybe Nike saw something in Artifact that they saw, instantly, like, okay, we could actually use this technology.
but that's the name of
So
the
yeah,
game, though, right?
that's
That's
basically
that's how it
what
always
so
is.
it's a
Think about it
waiting
oh,
game.
like think about how that is in the music industry. You get hot in your city, guess what happens? Record label come looking for you. They come to scoop you up. You selling mixtapes out of your trunk, they come to scoop you up and give you a record deal.
right? The whole world saw $250 billion Nike buy a Web3 project, a Web3 company, and try to jump into Web3. So hell yeah, they looking like, yo, what's going on over there? What made them do that?
Yeah. Also, like we got to remember like the circumstances of the economy right now, right? The economy itself isn't great, right? Like ETH is down, but it's stable. It's relatively stable. The stock market crashed like crazy too, right? It's not beneficial for some of these projects or companies to release a bunch of things right now either, right? Timing is everything. You want to catch the ride up, right? And once you catch the ride up, then like you're gonna not only the founders benefit, the community benefits, the project benefits, the brand benefits, right? So like right now is like it's very you're gonna see things are stagnated, and they're gonna continue this way until the economy picks back up, and that's they're basically waiting and for the right time and the right place, right? So I think
Well,
that's a better strategy, to be
I,
honest.
I
What
want
what
to. If I could. Oh, who's talking?
It's your blue haired brother up there.
Oh, okay. So I just wanted to go a little bit deeper on that founders and um, the time that we're in right now. Yeah, we all realize that we've been in a bear market, and it's just one of those times where everybody's kind of like scrambling to figure things out and see how they can make their communities happier. I think one of the things that is a common factor is that founders and people who have projects in Web3 actually come out and do interviews. They do community outreach um, to keep them happy, or at least to let them know that they're around. And my question is, and I'm going to use a very trivial point here. Gary Vee, also a big founder of his own V Friends. He's also an investor in Artifact since the beginning. He's already pointed that out. Even though he's a busy person and he definitely has a lot on his plate besides the Web3 sector, he's always in Discord. At least once a week, he comes out in Discord because I follow him. I have his notifications on. He's always reaching out to his community and he's letting them know that he's there. What are you guys? So my question is, what are you guys' thoughts? And I just want to hear opinions. I'm not attacking or flooding or anything like that, but I just want to know, um, uh, what are you guys' thoughts on the team members not actually coming out and having these discussions or having these little town halls or having interviews that we can see and that we can be part of, just to see that the team is still doing and working and innovating and doing things like that. Is it because they're busy doing something, creating something, and they just don't have time for us? Um, or is it something else? I just want to get
they're
every.
in here. They're taking notes. They're in here, Sam.
No, I think they're building, man. Honestly, and I had a conversation with someone else about this earlier, yesterday, I think it was. But I think it's at the point now where it's a little bit of what Rose said, where it's Nike. They're required by Nike, right? They're at a point where I think they feel like we don't have to. Like it's they want to build a brand away from the founders, like Rose said, in my opinion. They want it to live on its own. They want it to have its own trajectory. They don't want people to look up and need someone to hold their hand to walk through every single hurdle or loop what it is that comes up within the ecosystem. And at the same time, I think they're just building. I think they're putting all their time and energy in building towards the next level so they don't have to worry about just coming in every week. Like, yo, we still here, still love you, keeping it moving, right? But I understand the perspective where that makes everything feel good and comfortable because you still know that people are here with you along this journey. But I do think what they're building right now will be at such a caliber
that all will be forgiven. Like people will be like, "Oh, okay, this is why you weren't talking. We get it. Thank you very much for this because this is amazing. This is crazy." And I think that's where they are. Yo, at the same time, can we get people to retweet the space, comment, leave a comment, drop a heart, get some twerking emojis or something going, so just so we can get some engagement going.
Yep. And again, we are talking artifact as there are a lot of clones here, but this is not a artifact CloneX space. We talking about whatever, whenever. Speak your mind. Got questions about Web3, NFTs, speculation, what's dropping.
I have
We
an
are
idea
here for it.
actually.
What you drinking, anything. It's Friday for me. What is it? Thursday night for y'all right now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
happy Thursday to everyone. The weekend's almost here. We got a bunch of people in Utah right now, hitting the mountains. We got CloneX Utah. Shaq Diesel we're clones are attending Shaq DJ Diesel's party with some guest appearances. So shout out to y'all. Gonna have a good time. All people meeting in the flesh, which is a powerful thing. So yeah, we chilling. What's on your minds?
I have an idea. I have a bad take. It might be a great take. It depends on someone's opinion, right? So this is what we do. We go on ESPN's top 100 rank for. This is how we pump this space, right? We go on ESPN's 100 rank for basketball players. We find a gem that's gonna get drafted in the next couple years. We slide him some merch. Get him on our spaces. In a couple years, we pump. And he'll sign for Nike and game over for all of us.
Damn, that's kind of good.
See, that's what I said. Everyone was worrying about LeBron this, LeBron that. I'm more concerned about Bronny, bro. What NFT Bronny's gonna be buying? Because that's the future.
That's
You
a
know
good
what
one.
I
I think
mean,
I
bro?
think I think Bronny's already locked up just because his dad. His dad gonna put something in place for him to be with Nike and have all that legacy set up anyway.
That's what I'm thinking too, man. That's what I was thinking too, man. He's
Is
and
it
Lil Bronny got plugged up with FaZe and all them joints, so it's a matter of time. But you got to go through legal too.
Is it a long weekend for you guys in the States, or is that just in Canada as well?
But y'all celebrate President's Day in Canada?
No, we have Family Day. Yeah, Family Day.
No,
It's called
it was a joke. I was just
yeah.
joking.
It's all good.
I'm with the Artifact family.
You see that wholesomeness, Dre? We don't celebrate no presidents. We
The only
celebrate our
president,
family, bro. Family Day. Get it right.
the
So what
only
makes this Family Day? What's the basis?
Just take a day
uh
off, spend it, kiss your grandma, kiss your kids on the forehead. Day.
no, it's just Canadians got jealous that you guys had a thing. You guys had a holiday. We're like working, and we're like, yo, we got to get something. But like I do celebrate presidents. I celebrate Benjis. You can send me some electronic Benjis as well.
You could send me some Vitalix.
My family needs Vidalix.
Karmic Tom, what's good, man?
I'm good. Getting ready for NFT Paris in 10 days. There
What you
will be
got
a
planned
dope.
for it?
There are a ton of side events, so I'm gonna meet maybe with guys from Animoca Brands, and there's a Pudgy Penguin Digots party. There's also something for women artists in Web3. There are like so many cool stuff.
Hello, Karmic. Wonderful to chat with you.
Yeah, actually, I met Rose dad in a group, and she showed me her art. So she does a drop like on the 13th of each month, and I thought it was kind of cool to support her. So and there will be also a great like CloneX meetup. There will be a great party. So, man, I'm bullish on you guys. It seems like you got a bit. You took maybe your distances a bit from Nike brand and just like doing things by yourself. No, that's what it seems actually.
Yeah, we're all creators, and I think that's kind of the ethos of the Artifact, brand. It's to motivate, and encourage, yeah, creation for us all to create art, in our own way. So you got me with a comic book. You got Bombay with Grand Rising. You have Rose. You have to help me out with Synonymous. I think I got it. Do I got?
Yeah, it's
All right.
Seed Nomine. You got it.
Synonymous. Which is I think digital fashion, possibly physical fashion as well, coming up. So like, I mean, Dre's into sneakers and real estate. Like everybody got something going on, and that's the point for us to all, be collaborating, helping one another out, and not just focusing on the brand. We're fans of the brand, but we're also, creators and entrepreneurs.
That's
Well,
crazy, Dre. I just started for my real estate license today. I didn't even know
Oh,
you
for
do
real?
that. Yeah.
Yeah, man. I've been doing it in Ohio for a long time. I was trying to tell people to buy some investment properties in Ohio. Then these trains started to crash and release toxic air and toxins within the air. So now I'm not talking about that anymore. But yeah, that's dope, man.
Damn.
Yeah, I was actually.
Motivating.
Oh, sorry. Go
and
ahead.
yeah, can you use the IP of CloneX to build your brand and your entrepreneurship, or it just on your PFP on Twitter?
Let them know, Bombay. What's the word?
D-brand, brother. You can do whatever you want. Just D-brand it. All good.
So no
Wow.
logos, and you can't use the Artifact name.
Whoa, so that's just the beginning.
What
Wow.
do you mean?
So actually, what we do at Pudgy Penguins is the team is building an IP marketplace. So it will be centralized on the Pudgy Penguins main website. So my goal is, as you can see, maybe to license my IP and we can come back afterwards to the basketball idea because I have something for you guys. But so basically, they will build on the website a marketplace for the IP, and for me, it will be off maybe to a Japanese or a sushi restaurant, depending on the traits. And so basically, I will just rent my IP, and it will make like a side business, you know.
Yeah,
So
that's being done today too. Some clones have done IP licensing. Like Ema has got a modeling gig. Yeah. That's in the play. For sure. I know Pudgy Penguins is leaning heavy into IP, which is dope. And we have a lot of like CloneX creators who've used their IP to even spun off projects. Um, like some girls who got her eyelashes business, and she's using her clone as like her mascot or like brand person, however you say it. So yeah, I love the vision.
yeah, and I've got nothing against a kid called Beast, but to be honest, like the 3D art of Clonix is like the most
Top tier,
amazing.
brother.
Yeah, 100%. And you were talking about like maybe getting a gem of the NBA, and I think that's a great plan actually. So there's a guy, I don't know from which of you do follow NBA closely, but there's a French guy called Victor Wembanyama. I don't know if you've heard of him.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
gonna
bro.
be
The
the number
future.
one pick. Yeah.
Yeah, he's awesome, and he's French, and he's cool. And I think like betting early on a gem like this would be like so cool because we saw Neymar have like um, have a Bored Ape, etc. And I think like and I think
Victor
yeah,
needs a clone, bro. Go get him a clone.
I'm already trying to pengufy everybody, but yeah, it makes so much sense that an artist sponsored by Nike would have like a CloneX, or even uh, a sports person who wants to get sponsored by Nike gets a CloneX, you know, like you've got a gem at the university or something like that. He gets a CloneX, so it's already part of the Nike brand. And there was a space 2 days ago with a guy, a basketballer, and he was talking about shoes, etc. And he's building his own NFT project, but he wasn't into the
Scottie Pippen?
CloneX family. No, 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 not
I
Scottie
know,
Pippen.
I'm joking.
No, no, Scottie Pippen is like no, but definitely, I think it's a cool thing, and
Yo,
I'm
so
super
check out the
bullish
pin.
on.
Check out the last two pin tweets. This
Yeah.
the one before is from Sinomine, and they're a art. It's a project that they're using their clones to help push the brand. And then the first one is Mario Götze, who's a Nike athlete, soccer player who's got a clone. But I agree, it would be dope if every Nike athlete gets a clone. But I don't think we're there yet in the maturity of the brand. But hopefully one day we can get there, man. You know, we're still at the infancy stages of this all. Gifting NFTs kind of could be a little tricky, but one day, brother.
You know, to
Yeah,
be honest, hold on a second. You know, to be honest, the way you would do it, and I certainly don't have the funds for this. You need someone. You need a whale that was committed to really wanting to promote the brand, and they would go to the hottest, or like you said, like maybe the second hottest college athletes, because remember they have the NIL deals now, and they want money. And so if you don't go to the hottest, maybe the second hottest, and you offer them, just a few thousand, like bro, they would take it. And you're like, all right, we will make your video. We're gonna give you a clone, and here are all the things we want you to do with it. So you need someone on the team that could do the talking, that could do that.
Isn't
You
that
need
what
someone
Bored
like
Ape does with like Machi Big Brother, Gift, and all that?
exactly. And then you get someone that could do the rigging. Like I'm sure like someone is helping Sobe do all his stuff because Sobe can't do that. Someone's helping him do it. So you would have someone on the team that would do that for the athletes that you put in your crew. And then they would just be releasing content, but they'd have to already have a lot of followers on IG. Maybe not Twitter, because Twitter, not too many. I don't feel like too many of them would be on Twitter. But if they're on Twitter, great. But you can get them on Twitter, but they at minimum have to have a good like IG following, and then you would just help them. You create videos for them, little short content, and they would keep putting it out, and you would pay them to do it. Because I see college athletes, some of the best, doing some bootleg ass like IG like little ads for the local like restaurant that
Chippendales.
nobody ever heard of. Bruh, shut up, Chippendale. But like the local car like auto shop because they got a free car, from and no one's never heard of this place unless you live in the damn town. And so it could be done. I don't have time for that, but you would need it could be done. It just has to be coordinated and you'd have to be willing to spend the money to do it.
Yeah.
And I
I
don't
just
think
had a
Buttercup cares enough.
I had a question from Bombay. Did you say Machi Big Brother was gifting or grifting?
He said given, but we know what you mean. We know what you're saying.
Hey, bro, you can't, Nate, can't, I can't knock the hustle, bro. Can't, don't hate the player, hate the game, you know?
No, I just wanted to just joking around. I'm just joking around. I don't want any smoke from anyone, you know? I'm just a little guy, so.
Yeah, brother. I got you. Don't worry.
and don't you think that the current, like, let's say, uh, dropping price of CloneX also enable to onboard new members of the community? So having a dip might have been a good thing actually for the community to grow further.
Absolutely. We see, I'm in the Discord, you know, and we see a lot of people joining, new people getting their first clones, and they're super hyped about it. So it's always good to get to transfer out, get some new excited energy in. So it's all part of the process. Absolutely.
And do you think the Nike Dot Swoosh first drop will have an influence on the floor price, or do you see it completely decorrelated?
Both. It's
Correlated. I don't think it's gonna have no effect.
Yeah, it's not gonna have any effect, which is to my eyes like I'm kind of glad that they are separated because then Artifact can focus on Artifact and Dot Swoosh can worry about the mass adoption and and they partner when it makes sense. We may or may have not gotten some alpha where like the digital wearables from Dot Swoosh will be able to wear on our clones. I don't know if that's confirmed or not, but that would be a cool little halo effect on clones. But yeah, they're separate. They're separate, which is good, for the long run.
I heard that too about the digital wearable thing. I don't even know if
Yeah.
I'm supposed to say that I heard that, but I heard that too.
Yeah, I heard that too. But maybe we keep that in the tuck, but that'd be lit.
It's already untucked, man. Laying it
I'm
out.
already wearing Nike Swoosh gear, thanks to Juju. Shout out to Juju.
Yeah, y'all see what he did with the Valhalla Dot Swoosh animation? That goes hard. Juju be in the lab. He be doing crazy shit with his stuff. I don't know how he does
Juju
it.
on that beat, man. Juju on
Juju
that
on that
beat.
beat, ain't?
No, I agree though. I think it's good for both ecosystems to have that separation and, like you said, just collaborate when it makes sense. Because you can't force everything just because certain things just don't fit just because you want them to. You gotta, you know what I mean? It has to make sense. When it's organic, that's when it's a beautiful collaboration.
Yep. It's all part of the family, right? So I'm excited. I think, yeah. Nah, I don't want to go too much to deep dive into it. But what's up, Compound? Can you give us an update on the Ice Mountains?
No, bro, I'm mad at Anya right now, dude. I'm so mad. She didn't tell us it's -5 degrees here. We almost lost Vince. Didn't bring enough clothes. He almost froze to death. Anya didn't give us this kind of warning. I was fine. I planned ahead, but me and Aunt Ben had to carry Vince out of there. We're worried about the guy. He wore his dunks into the snow, so his toes are doing good. I told him the dunks were waterproof, and yeah, turns out dunks aren't waterproof. Dre, you could have helped us out with that.
No,
I'm
no, no, no.
gonna put that one on you. So
Vince
yeah,
got on here and said, "Yo, it's not as cold as everybody said it was supposed to be. It's all good."
bro.
So
Exactly. An hour, like 2 hours ago, an hour ago, he literally said that.
Yeah, no, he spoke too soon. He literally was like, "Yeah, it's not that cold like everybody said it was going to be." As soon as we get out of the car, yeah. As soon as we get out of the car, Vince is falling apart. We got hot cocoa. We walked through this castle. It was actually pretty cool. Took a bunch of pictures, and we'll share them with y'all. We'll put them in the chat. It
Yo,
was pretty dope, though.
send me the pictures, Compound, so I can put your clones on it, so you guys can preserve
You
the
want us?
identity.
Oh, you want us to dox to you, but nobody else is what you're saying.
Or you
We
can
gotta
send them to
send
Dre,
you
and
the
he'll just
pictures.
you send them to Dre, and he'll just put them on
yeah,
MySpace.
yeah, yeah. I'll send them to you, Bombay. I got you, baby.
Now I gotta dox to Dre.
Docs the Dre. Docs the Dre.
Dox the Dre for what?
Oh, dude, I've met so many of you in real life. I'm just playing.
Yo, that's your alter ego. You got to use that now. Docs to Dre. That's dope.
Dox the Dre.
That's his villain. His villain arc.
I might have to hold it. Yeah, I might have to hold that one down. Yo, Alone Architect. I'm trying to get that demon. That's Docs the Dre. Give him up, cuz I'm on your back every time I see you.
He got a demon that looks like you, bro. Oh shit! Yeah, he
Scroll down.
does.
Yeah, I've been on his back for
Yo,
months. He's been ignoring me. He's not
guys,
selling.
I've been
Yo,
looking at clones.
random
Oh,
question. When is NFTLA?
March 20th to the 23rd. Bombay, let's get
Oh,
Alone Architect up here, man, so we can get him to sell me this clone. I mean, so we can talk to him.
Yeah. I'm trying to get him up here.
yo, March
guys,
20th, we are outside.
I'm
Oh
outside
man,
March 20th.
we cooking, man. I'm telling you, we got some stuff cooking. We got some stuff brewing.
Can't
So
wait.
we definitely are outside, and it's gonna be warmer too. Toes out.
If you need a helping
Yeah,
hand, you know I'm here, bro.
we definitely need a helping hand.
Wait, did I just hear
We definitely
toes
do.
out?
I'll let you know.
I thought you'd be rocking
I
your
got you.
Toes
big
out.
red gumboots.
Man, I didn't get them. I missed them. I
Ah,
tried to
mate,
get
you just
them.
have to pay
They
the
didn't even make your
secondary.
big ass size.
They made a 13, and they look big enough for me to slip mine up in there. You know what I mean? So I was like, I was just gonna shoot for it. But I wasn't at home during the drop. I was at the damn Benz dealership, get my oil changed so I can drive my car to Utah and freeze. And I missed out on the big red boots.
Damn, that's crazy. How long is the drive?
9.5 hours.
Jesus Christ.
Damn, man. I'm used to it. I'm originally from Ohio. I used to drive down to Atlanta. That was about 8.5 hours. So I figure I can if I can drive the hot Atlanta, I can drive the cold ass Utah.
Hey, I'm gonna be in Atlanta next week, actually.
You
If
know, my
anyone's
wife is
out
gonna
there.
be in Atlanta next week.
Damn.
Maybe I can give you a number so you can stay away from her.
It's a trap, bro.
Right? Anya, what's up, man? You gonna speak on these allegations that Compound just shot you with?
Yeah, I am. How dare you goat me up here to face a court of my peers on the allegations that this state is too cold for Vincent after he declared that it was not that cold earlier.
Anya,
I'm
you
a
sound a
little.
little cold right now.
I am no, actually, I had to chase one of my kids back up the stairs because they were coming sneaking down. As soon as I got on the stage, I was like, "Hey, get back to bed!" I had to go chase her upstairs.
First of all, I don't take responsibility for the statements that Vincent said. He said those on his own free will. I knew this state was cold, and I fucked around and found out some more tonight that this state was cold.
Hey, how are the
Did you
ice
hit that
castles?
weather up?
It was cool as shit. Like, they really build it out with tunnels and like there's ice slides and stuff. They really go all out. We stayed for about 30 minutes. They got some pictures. We walked through all the tunnels we could, and we're good to go. I told the guys, I said, hey, whenever you go traveling with your girl, you got to do like one big thing that she wants to do, and then like you're good to do the things you want to do that weekend. So we locked that down right off the bat, and yeah. And now she's stoked to do all
so we knocked
the rest
that
of the
out.
weekend.
Now she doesn't get to do shit the rest of the weekend.
You really fucked up with that.
She said, "Good, we knocked that out. Now I don't get to do shit the rest of the weekend."
Oh, I'm about to start Googling stuff.
Oh man. No, man, I missed a bunch in here. I had my headphone in as much as I could, crunching through the snow. But there's been some good conversation going on in here, y'all. Like, I've enjoyed listening. I've missed talking, but yeah, we're done now. I got my headphone in. I'm gonna listen.
You see how serious we get when Compound isn't here? How we take it to a place of deliverables and understanding. You see that?
It's like when Polly
Love,
comes in
love it.
here.
I know.
Polly.
Polly comes with some seriousness, man. Like, jeez. I love Polly, though.
What's up, Karmic Tom?
Yeah, I just had a question and a suggestion. Because I want to help you guys, and I used to love Nike. No, it's not like I won't buy any more sneakers because I've got my pair of sneakers, and that's cool. Do you know the brand Pata? Patta? Does that ring a bell?
They have a collab with Nike. A few.
Yeah, a long time collab with Nike, and their Air Max ones are like the most coveted ones. They are like 15,000 grand for some of them. And I was wondering, like, with the Nike Creators Program on Nike.swoosh, if it's a if, but let's say Rose Jade wins it, if she sells like her creation, and she decides to, so from a creator's perspective and from an innovation perspective, if she decides to share the royalties with all CloneX holders, you know what I mean? It could be like a way to rise the floor of all CloneX, you know? Is something like doable, you think?
Well, we would have to know the percentages of the sharing for the process, but yeah, anything is possible. It wouldn't be no different from like the royal music sharing situation, right? Like the producer only owns 5% of the record, and he tokenizes that 5%. People who buy into that project only get like point whatever, whatever, whatever. But yeah, it does drive up the sentiment of that project in the first place. So that would be dope.
Yeah, and like the Rihanna case when like they were supposed to get like 0.0033 percent of pitch better have my money, but actually the collection was delisted by OpenSea. But I think the solution will come from maybe not the brand, but maybe from a creator, and so it would be dope that like a digital wearable was a success, and maybe Nike at some point will say, okay, we're gonna drop like maybe like an Air Max One or a Jordan CloneX, like a physical one, and say, okay, all the will share the benefits with the community, and then it would bring like major impact to the floor price. In my opinion, I don't understand why they try to sell like a super expensive shoe, etc. But but I think it's something doable to whether a digital or a physical wearable, and then share the royalties with the entire community, because it would help both the brand for better appreciation after what happened, and also like the community. So I think everybody would win in that case.
That was the most elegant way I've heard anyone say, "Bitch, better have my money." That was amazing. But you're absolutely correct with everything you said after that.
That collection didn't get pulled from OpenSea, right? I thought that they were only trading on their own platform and no one else's. They restricted access to every other platform, so they got full royalties and were trying to draw attention to their platform. Is that a bad take?
Honestly, I don't know. I wouldn't be paying attention to "Bitch, better have
But
my money."
yeah, but it's an interesting concept because I was talking to Blau about it because he has Royal, which is a very similar platform where instead of a producer sharing their percentage, he's actually directly with the artists, and his theory is that people want a connection with the artist. It's not so much a financial like ROI. It's, hey, I've got a small stake in this song, and what he generally does, he's done some like that have been pre-release songs, but he generally will allow users of his platform to buy in to a song before it's released. So there's a bit of speculation as to whether it's going to be a banger or not, and you will get access to it before it goes public. So it's an interesting concept, and I think that's part of the beauty of Web3 is that you're able to share things like that. And royalty sharing has been a thing for decades. It's just been very strongly gatekept between a bunch of old white men. So I think it's neat. As to whether it will be commercially successful, to be seen, but it's a really cool experiment.
No, I agree. I was talking to him on one of Leaf stages too, and we were trying to figure out the most correct way to have that utilized by the music industry. But like you said, it's the old white man gatekeeping for the music industry. They will fight this stuff tooth and nail because it's such a money printer for them.
Yeah, but they
this
were fighting
technology,
streaming, right? They were trying to
100. I
fight
was about to say
streaming,
that.
and
I was about
they
to say
lost
that.
that, so they went heavy into that. And this is the next
100%.
thing, and they haven't come around to it yet. So, there is first movers advantage here,
100%.
where you get in early, you can capitalize absolutely. So there's one
But
thing
think
to
about
just throw your money out. There's another thing to actually invest time and energy into building alongside people like Blau.
But think about what happened with Spotify and streaming, right? That started off from the same sentiment, the same savior of the industry, and they just infiltrated that and pumped it full of their money and their liquidity, so to speak. And now they just control every bit of that process as well. So this goes to the point I was making earlier about Web2 looking to jump into this space because people are paying attention to it. At the same time, it's almost like almost feels like it's from the same vein that they were doing with Bitcoin, how they flooded on the media. Stay away from it. It's trash. You don't want to be a part of that. It's a scam, yada, yada, yada. But it's quietly pumping money into it through the back door. Is that a pause? I don't know if
Dude,
it's a pause.
absolutely. The U.S. government's one of the largest holders of Bitcoin. Full stop. But
And it's the same situation with the music. It's the same type of situation. They're gonna build it. They're telling people with NFTs now, stay away from it. It's a scam. But these corporations are quietly trying to find ways to incorporate their business acumen within this sector. And the music industry. Once it gets here, it will revolutionize the industry the same way Napster did with peer-to-peer sharing with MP3s, the same way that Apple did with iTunes, and the same way that they're doing now with streaming. It's going to change everything.
So
Yeah,
a
so
person that you should really follow is Ian Rogers. He's the ex-CEO of Beats, and he brokered the sale of Beats to Apple. And then when I think he spent 1 or 2 years there, and he was like, they're just monopolizing and cannibalizing this. He's like, this is not the vision of when Beats did their streaming service. He's like, and then they sold. It was like the first like $1 billion sale from I guess a musician founder.
Yeah.
And he was like, this was not the vision. Like, sure, we cashed out, but now they're basically locking it up for everyone else. So he joined. Forgetting the acronym, but basically Louis Vuitton and the parent company there, and was their
LVMH.
digital asset manager. Yeah, exactly. And now he's the I forget his exact title, but he's one of the head guys at Ledger. And he's like, we want to basically break down the walls and provide access to everyone. So he's he's not a co-founder, but he's like an early employee and one of the main guys at Ledger, based out of Paris. And super interesting dude that's got a very colorful history, and he's very music forward, and he's helping push that whole agenda as well. Cool dude to pay attention to.
That's super dope. I'm gonna draw a parallel with you in the sneaker space, because everything to me, and I always say this all the time, I always use music as analogies because that's my life's blood, and that's how I see the world, right? It's through the moves that are made within the industry and of music. And it's the same situation even in the sneaker industry, right? So when Nike came out with the sneakers app back in 2017, I believe it was, they were looking for it to be as pure as the founder of Spotify was looking to have music when he came with Spotify. But then it was infiltrated because they saw how powerful it was and even could be. And it became cannibalized. And the leverage that was utilized from creating that app totally took it away from the inception of the thought process that they wanted to execute utilizing that app. And now we see where it's at today. I don't know if you know anything about the sneakers app, but the people who do understand what I'm saying. And it's the same situation. That's why the original team who created the sneakers app pivoted over to Swoosh.Nike, because they want to keep and create that same ethos that they had instilled into the inception of the sneakers app that got away from them. They want to apply those thought processes and that type of standard to Swoosh.Nike, and that's what they're looking to do. So I say all that to say it's the same situation of what they're doing in the music industry. We don't have an app or a company that's dove into Web3 sector and establishing any type of dominance as of yet. But I know people are looking and aiming to create that big next thing. I always thought it was Jack. I forget his name. Jack, who used to own Twitter, right? When he bought into Tidal with Jay-Z and bought 50% of Tidal. I always thought that was the next move for Tidal. They come into Web3 and they're going to establish dominance because they already have a community of people who are paying for the streaming process, and they just want to utilize all of that data in inception.
You might be onto something, because like Jay-Z is huge into the Web3 space, but he just does it like low key, right? So
he does it with I forget the other homie's name, but yeah,
Nas.
No. It's actually a young tech developer, Idris something. I forgot
Yeah,
his
I
name,
know
but
what you're talking about.
yes,
Spatial.io.
yes,
Yes.
yep. And they're doing their own sector of goods as well, like forgeable items as well. They have the same technology that Artifact is utilizing in their clothing to be able to be scannable, to have their own inventory app. He has his own like shoes. They kind of look like Crocs. He has, but his clothing is kind of bare bones. It looks like Yeezy Season One almost, right? But it has the technology, the chip technology, the same chip technology that's in Artifact's clothing line, and but they're doing it on a different way. But Jay Z was the one of the main funders of that technology and that brand, Spatial Labs. So that's why I thought it was, Jack Dorsey. I thought it was Jack Dorsey doing that with Tidal because Jack already knows about Web3. He's been talking about Web3 from the beginning, right? Remember, he was saying like people think Web3 is independent, but the
Nah,
same
he's going
people.
straight to Web 5, man.
That's what I'm about to say. Same people who own Web2 own Web3, so it's there's no difference, right? He was saying all that stuff back then, but then he acquired 50% of Tidal because Tidal already has the community built out. They already have a lane. They already have the data. They already know how to execute, and he can just integrate this technology into that app. If your favorite artist drops merchandise, special edition merch on Tidal, you can go to Tidal to buy it, and it'll automatically implement it on the blockchain. If you want to see behind the scenes footage of SZA recording her album, you can only see that on Tidal, and it
Dude,
comes along with your Tidal subscription.
it's going to happen. And one
The
thing,
biggest,
and
sorry to cut you off, but like the biggest problem though that you have to consider is that like Apple is ruthless, right? Especially
Oh yeah,
right now, they're taking 30% of uh purchases, in-app purchases. That's why
yeah,
a lot of Web3 companies, like for me, it's been difficult as an iOS developer to develop something in the Web3 space because they're ruthless. They'll block every single way in order for you to make profit in that way because they don't control it. So
yep,
um like a majority of listening music is listened on mobile apps, right? Because people are on the go, they connect to their cars, etc.
yeah.
Yes. Yeah, sorry I interrupted, but yeah, I just wanted to get that out there.
No, for sure. But that's what I thought the play was originally. And like I said, I told the story before. This was back in 2020 when I was talking to Punch. Like, yo, jump into Web3. This is the space. This is a move. NFTs. You can tokenize. You can put out the next album utilizing this technology. It'll be a great go. And he went back and told Jay Z. He went back and told Jay Z and Jack Dorsey the idea that I told him, and they gave him the thumbs up. Like, yeah, that's a great idea. You should do that. And him and I like whatever. But it's that's where I saw things going even back then. So now for it to be 3 years later and NFTs to be where they are now, and these projects to be sprouted and have this type of provenance over everything that's been built up in the sector, right? We see Nike jumping in with Artifact, and we see other companies trying to jump in Web3 as well. We know it's just a rat race. It's a situation that's waiting to have something be built upon that foundation to create the next big thing and utilizing this technology for music. But it, like I said, main point, it's going
Yeah,
to change everything.
yeah. Also, Alone's had his hand up for a while, so I feel bad for him.
I don't feel bad for that, man. Let's keep talking. On to the next thing now. Alone, what's up, bro?
What's up, guys? No need to feel bad. I was eating. I seem to be always eating the past 2 days in a row in Spaces. But so some thoughts that I have about music industry in the past few years. I don't know if anyone's noticed, but there's been tons of like huge artists selling their whole like catalogs off for like hundreds of millions of dollars to publishing companies, to the record companies, whomever. So I don't know. I was always looking at that. I'm like, all right, what's going on here? And I kind of speculate that it has to do a little bit with what Dre was saying, that all these motherfuckers, all the big companies, they're buying up all the fucking hits, all the shit. They're doing these incredible buyouts for all their artists. And then what's going to happen? When Web3 becomes a little bit more mainstream and the marketplaces are easier and there's like, audience is something like iTunes or Spotify or whatever else comes to take their place, well, all of a sudden, all these motherfuckers, all the one percenters, all the same people that were the old guard that fucking hijacked the whole kind of like Spotify infrastructure and whatnot, are going to come into the Web3 infrastructure, and they're going to have all these like massive catalogs that have like a plethora of fucking hits spanning like decades, and they're going to fucking put it into Web3, and they're going to make a shit ton of money. That's what I think.
No, I think you're absolutely correct. Because think about licensing, think about publishing. I think the artists know too. That's why they're selling all of their licensing and publishing. They're getting rid of all of these catalogs.
Exactly. They're selling that. They're going to fucking not deal with like whatever their recoup is, whatever their contract is. And then the artists are going to be able to do the same thing moving forward and control their actual like output and control their art. And they're going to be able to do this outside of the label structure, just kind of like the way Taylor Swift, she re-recorded her whole fucking record, owned her masters, and was kind of like, all right, motherfuckers, fuck you. So it's going to kind of be like something similar to that. Whereas, you know, the major labels are going to profit off of like the historical aspect of all these like hits that have been like around for decades, and then a lot of those big artists that sold off their catalogs that are still relevant are going to kind of probably ease in and kind of take a more quote unquote indie route in terms of like controlling their masters, controlling like what they put out more, and not having to be subject to the, you know, the machine basically. I'm in the record industry as well, so you know that's kind of what I'm thinking. Yeah.
Hey Dre,
That's a fact, man. I agree with you.
what was that other guy's name that just dipped out that was talking a bunch about the guy at Ledger? Zip? No. I was gonna give him the name. It was Ian Rogers, who was with Beastie Boys for like 2 decades, right? He's the CEO of
Yeah.
Ledger. I had a good chat with him about 6 months ago about what he's trying to do at Ledger and what he used to be doing at Beastie Boys and how he's right. He was even named, what was it? Was it Rolling Stone did an article of him in the mid '90s calling him the 4th Beastie Boy? Dope guy if you haven't met him, but he's got big plans for Ledger, man. I'm actually super pumped what he's putting out, and he's taken a lot of it from what he learned from the music industry over those decades. But yeah, it was Ian Rogers. Look him up,
No, that's
man. If you
fine.
haven't, he's a good dude.
No, I'm gonna have to check into that. That's fine.
Didn't Rihanna like put "Bitch Better Have My Money"? Is that the song?
Yep.
As like an NFT recently, and it like blew up. So
Yep. That's what we were just talking about earlier. But no,
uh,
a lone architect, I feel you. I think you're absolutely correct, because people are tired of being pimped by the system, and it's a one-sided relationship. Even for artists who are big name artists like the Justin Biebers, the Taylor Swifts, right? They do create opportunity because they have more leverage within that deal that they're signing, but there's still some macking going on behind the scenes, and they're tired of being macked out. So
right,
if they can sell the publishing, they can get rid of it. They can come back full-fledged from their own perspective as individual artists and build from the ground up, and then get 100% of what they're doing.
I think that as well, you know, and when you consider like 360 deals and whatnot, you know, going on in the music industry, they're just trying to own everything, right? 360 deal means, basically, for those who don't know, it's like when you get signed to a record deal, it's like they touch a little bit of everything. They'll take a percentage of your merch. They're going to take a percentage of your touring. They're going to take a percentage of like your fucking firstborn child's like first job at the gas station down the fucking street. You know what I mean? Like, that's essentially what it is. So and obviously there are like players like Illa, you know, the not our Illa the Illa the producer, the guy who did all the Eminem stuff. I mean, he has like a very, very nice publishing deal where he controls like I think it's something like 80% of like what's happening comes to him, and like 20% goes to whomever he's signed to. But I mean, that is also like a huge clout deal, right? Because when you have 12 Grammy noms and whatnot, you can kind of dictate things. But then you see what he's doing. He's like a huge advocate and a huge voice in this space, like one of the biggest ones, along with Blau, I would say, in terms of like artists or producers that come from the traditional music industry that have like, you know, that are making moves and trying to kind of like that see where this is going and that understand the fucking game because they're inside and they're in like a position that they can kind of like maneuver a little bit like in a way that could benefit a lot of artists like moving forward. So I think I think that's happening, and I think, you know, the record labels know it, man. So everyone's kind of like, you know, everyone's playing the 4D chess right now. The artists are, they get it, the record labels are, and, you know, then the normies are still kind of sleeping. But when it kind of opens up, man, the floodgates, they're going to come running, and music is going to be the next fucking big thing, is what I think.
Definitely.
100%. I agree with it. Everything you just said. But like you said, even with Illa, it took him to get 12 Grammy noms. He had to build up to that point. All of these big name artists had to build up to a point to gain the leverage. Drake had to build up to the point to gain the leverage, but Drake is different, right? Because he's, you know, receiving everything that he wants because he's basically keeping the lights on, like he said. But it's a totally different situation for other big name artists that we know and love. It's just part of the
The
process. They know they got to catch a brick in
the
order
problem.
to build up to their point of where they want to go. Yo, man, you've been interrupting everybody all night. I ain't gonna let you go
Sorry,
through
sorry,
this one.
sorry,
But
sorry.
it's the same type of situation. So no, I agree, and we need to have some conversations, man. Alone architect, we need to have some conversations, not just about me getting that demon clone, which will happen soon,
I don't know
but
about that.
the next next level of the music situation,
I
for
would love to,
real.
man. I just got back to LA, man. We should kick it at one point, go grab like a bite to eat or whatever, you know.
No, for
So
sure. We was talking about that.
yeah,
Where'd you land?
I'm Boyle Heights. I'm a little
Okay.
east. Yeah,
All right.
you're
Yeah, I'm Los Feliz, so I'm a little
yeah,
east
you're just
too.
north. You're just up the freeway, man. Like about 15 minutes away or something.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. We're
But
doing some
yeah,
stuff out for NFTLA too. I'll make sure to get that information to you too, because
I would
we're
love
putting
that.
some things together that we're gonna have some people around. I think you
I would
would
love that, man. If you need help with anything, just let me know, man. I'm here to serve you now.
appreciate it, brother.
Dog, Alone
Mike, go ahead, brother.
Architect is he, I got his music tapped up my Spotify. He's got it's some theatrical. It's very beautiful. So if you're not privy to what he does, it's pretty dope. I must say myself.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that.
The problem with like the music industry right now, though, is like the the masters, right? A lot of these big artists, a lot of them don't even own their own masters, so they can't even like they can't leverage their ownership right now. And another big thing is like the music industry's always had has had ownership over distribution, everything, right? But there is going to be that transition, and there's a platform issue as well, and the technology issue. In terms of the platform issue, like I mentioned earlier, with devices like Apple and these big monopolies, they're not allowing a lot of this infrastructure to take place, right? But if you look at like Spotify, what happened was the reason Spotify started to succeed was because of Pirate Bay, illegal streaming, and Spotify was able to leverage that business and turn it into a profitable business using advertising. But with Web3, like the biggest problem right now is the technology is so clunky, right? Like if I were to buy a musical NFT right now, like how would I listen to this on a daily basis, especially if I want to listen to multiple music? A lot of like it's a lot cheaper for me to use Spotify right now. Why am I gonna pay gas fees and pay like $20 when I could pay $10 a month, right? So that's like it's a very tough industry to break through right now, and there needs to be more players in terms of platform as well, especially for mobile. So like there needs like it's gonna be there's a lot of opportunity costs there too. So like if I'm building a platform for music, it's gonna cost me a lot of money to fight all these big players, especially having legal teams, etc. It makes a lot of sense, like in theory, but I think like logically it's not we're not even close, right?
I mean, that's the way you think, like by virtue of what you just said, right? What is it going to take to incentivize all the Web 2 people to like want to leave Spotify, right? Because it's so convenient, right? It's $10 a month. I
Yeah.
mean, this is like the abject commodification of like an art form and of people, and we all know that. But I mean, that's what Spotify and all that is. But what kind of platform and what kind of incentivization? Obviously, it has to be smoother. It has to be easier. Like the learning curve has to be not as high for people to want to get into it, because let's face it, most people don't want to figure this out. I don't find that complicated, like setting up a wallet and doing all the preliminary basic stuff. But you have to have like the want to kind of dig in and like kind of put some concerted effort into thinking about shit, right? So what is it that you think Modulus, is that it? Sorry. Modus Lux. Yeah,
Modus.
Modus, sorry. Modus
That's
Lux. What do
probably
you think is going to be, what do you think could be a platform or some kind of format to incentivize people to kind of like ditch Spotify? Because that's basically what it comes down to. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. I think like there has to be like someone in the music industry willing to take that risk, right? And actually like like who does it really benefit, right? It benefits the artist, but the people
100% the
that
artist.
the artist, right? But then like why would the music industry or why would Spotify or these platforms like wanna go in a Web3 direction, right? Because even if I release music on Spotify, like lis- as an artist, I wouldn't make much money off of Spotify. People make more
Nah, you
money
make
off
like
of these.
0.004 cents or something like that per stream, something nominal 0.0004.
Yeah, so there's a lot of friction on every like if okay, so if Apple one day magically created wanted to use blockchain, right, and stopped blocking people for uh like stop blocking people from or taking 30% off of in-app purchases, that would be the first thing that would need to happen, and that would be a huge movement that would open the floodgates, right? But we saw like Epic Games and the lawsuit there, like that's not going anywhere right now, right? So like I don't have the answer. It's just I see more of the friction is like not a 1D or 2D thing. It's like a 3D thing. There's so many layers to it.
Right.
I got an
And it's,
idea though. This is what I'm thinking, right? So I had the same conversation with Punch. This was the what started up the debate that him and I had because of the same points you just made. With an artist jumping into Web3, what will make the audience, a fan, want to go to that specific artist's platform, quote unquote, to listen to their music when it's so easy to jump into a YouTube, to a Spotify, to an Apple Music to hear all of the songs? And why would you even want to start that battle to have to make your fans choose? The answer, that was 2021 when I had the conversation with him. The answer to me, now we've seen the onboarding become mainstream with what Swoosh.Nike is doing. So what the answer would be is find someone who has the power and the influence to onboard people to a different type of experience. And it necessarily doesn't have to be a platform like a streaming platform, but something that just takes away the trouble of being a part of this sector, like Nike did. We got 350,000 people onboarded in less than 3 months because of how easy it is. They don't have to get a MetaMask. They don't have to go through training just to understand how to purchase something. They just sign up for something like they sign up for anything else. They get a badge, quote unquote, and they in. Same type of situation. It would take an artist who has the influence as big as Nike, say a Drake. If Drake creates a platform that makes it easy to listen to his music, if you own this token, you get into the future of all of his shows for free with the ownership of that token, and the onboarding process is seamless where you don't have to learn anything new, and you can tap into Drake and all of the people who are affiliated with him or sign, quote unquote, with him. It would change everything immediately, overnight. That's what it's going to take. That type of, I'm going to keep saying provenance because Bombay said it so much earlier that I loved it, provenance. But anyway,
so
it's going to take something like that.
what are the chances you think that like Spotify does that first? Because if I was Spotify, I'd be like, all right, let's see how I'm gonna fucking like ensure my share of the pie and my dominance of the market moving forward. So then you kind of look into gaming culture, something that people like. Customize your Spotify experience, customize your Spotify player. They're gonna definitely I would link up like some kind of your Spotify profile with NFTs, same way like Twitter is doing it, but obviously more streamlined, right? But then, the same way, man, because everything has become this like voyeuristic kind of let's see what other people are doing, down to Venmo. You know what I mean? You got people scrolling through like fucking Venmo to see who paid who for what, and the silly shit that they write there, But it's gonna I mean, I'm kind of just like spitballing right now, but if I was Spotify, I'd almost turn the Spotify experience into like a Web3 kind of social media merged kind of thing. You know what I mean? Where people can customize their whole Spotify experience like right in there
Yes.
in the app, and then like you know, like kind of like trade between like things amongst one another, like, and you know, if it's the major labels, like you said, are all they own the biggest stakes in Spotify and all that. So all of a sudden they own all the catalogs. So then they create all this like digital fucking merch, all these digital wearables that you can sell through the Spotify store that people can take to equip and customize their, like, you know what I mean? You got that fucking yay thing, or you
100%.
get that, you know, Imagine Dragons, like whatever kind of avatar thing. And I think shit like that is going to happen with like the corporation. So obviously it comes down to what you were saying, Dre, like someone like Drake, an artist with a lot of clout that can, you know, kind of like draw some attention. And I know at the peak of the bull market, Imagine Dragons, I think it was. I'm sorry that I mentioned that band twice in this chat. Like, you know, if I was religious, I'd do the cross now and be like, you know, like, please, Lord, like, bless me. I'm sorry, you know, for what I've done since. But my point being, they had a pretty good like launch of what they did, and it included, you know, the full package of like access to their backstage and all this, like, you know, all these little like perks. And obviously they're a mega band, so it was very easy, and I think they made the payment with credit card. So again, all the Web3 stuff was in on the back end, so people didn't have to kind of fuck around with that. But I mean, it's going to take more of those happening, and like, you know, creating the whole like culture, you know, back like in the day when people would have street teams and shit like that. There's going to be like street team culture with like NFTs and like the whole, you know, like pushing your artist and your favorite, like your favorite band or whatever. That's kind of what and again, this is all off the top of my head, but that's kind of like what I can see maybe happening.
That's why I thought the Jack Dorsey Jay-Z move was in 2020. You see what I'm saying? He already has the integration for that platform, that DSP, to be utilized to give that to every artist that's a part of Tidal, or at least present the option. Hey, if you want to drive everything through Tidal, your ticket sales through Tidal, your merch sales through Tidal, your behind the stage access through Tidal, we can have this set up like this. We can have account set up where your users, you'll know exactly who they are, where they're from, what they're into, what other music they're listening to. You have all of this data that comes along with being with Tidal. We'll share it with you as an artist. You know what I'm saying? That's invaluable information where you can create and cater to someone on an individual basis and give them an experience that makes them feel like they're in the middle of all of it. And that's exactly what I thought they were doing with Tidal, but nothing has come as of yet. I can't say that they're not doing that, but I saw that with that purchase of that 50% from Jay-Z. But yeah, that's what it's going to take. I think that's what Jay was trying to do when he got all the artists. Remember when Tidal first it launched, and he got all of his artists who was rocking with Rock Nation together as one, and it was Kanye, Jay, Rihanna, Alicia Keys, so on and so forth. They stood up on the stage and they clapped, and then they left and nothing happened. I think that's
Yeah.
what they were looking to build and create, the power within the artist, and give them that power to be able to utilize that power to do these type of things. But now we're in a situation where, honestly, for real, if you can have an artist who has a cult-like following and build off of that alone, create
100%.
something that has this individual tap into their fans and create a culture within that and showcase it.
And you
You
know
know what
what's
I'm
funny?
saying?
It's funny, man, because people are willing to pay for shit that they like, right? You know, like fans, they're willing to pay. And we're at like, I don't know, man. History, you know, history doesn't repeat, but it often rhymes, right? So if you kind of look back at the last disruptive tech we had in the music industry, it was basically Napster back in the day, and then fucking people were downloading, and then like torrenting and all that shit, and then Metallica came out, and Metallica was like, which, you know what, man, people like gave them a lot of like shade, threw a lot of shade their way for that, but I understand where they're coming from, because, you know, they were basically like, yo, y'all are going to steal our jobs. But look what happened. So Napster took off, and then basically that kind of model like mutated into Spotify. And then they found a way to commodify it for a cheap price, for $10, so that it would not be like as complicated. People have to deal with fucking torrents, having to go here and blah blah blah, seeding, all that bullshit. And they fucking, you know, took it. People were willing to pay. It's a small price, $10, and it's kind of like Napster was the disruptive tech but even though it was the first mover, it wasn't what like ended up making the mark. It was Spotify. So right now, NFTs are the disruptive tech in the music industry. So it's either going to go like one of two ways. I don't think it'll go both. You know, maybe for the major artists, like the big ones, like the Madonnas and all those big names, they'll be able to kind of do that. But if the same thing happens to, let's say, well, if Spotify and all those companies do the same thing that like they did back in the day when Napster came with Web3, you know, it's just going to be like first movers advantage again for them. So, you know, it's really interesting, and it's kind of like what you were just talking about, Dre. But people are willing to pay. It just, you have to make shit easy for them, and people
Yeah.
do want to support artists, you know. So you just have to make shit easy for them.
Yeah, I think like the way that I was thinking about it earlier when you asked that question was like 0 to 100, but like Shake, he's listening right now. He mentioned like Doodles and Pharrell, but I think like the thing is, um like I think artists will start creating products in Web3, for example, like art and albums that's associated with music. And I think that it has to come in small waves, right? And regardless if they're large or big. And like you, I think one of you mentioned, like there's always a cult following, and for some of these artists, and they'll buy anything, they'll buy any of their products, right? That's why Rihanna can come in and just like create a product, and then it's gonna sell out. Or if someone like The Weeknd comes in or Drake comes in, their product is gonna sell out regardless of what it is, right? So I think when we see more of these artists coming in, creating their products, putting it in, that's when like it's gonna catch the attention of these larger platforms, or someone like Dre mentioned earlier, someone like Drake. If he were to come in, he could do it himself, right? And then like that's how you push these platforms, or even these like someone like an Apple or a Spotify away, and like they're gonna have to pay attention to someone that big, right? Because if I'm a Drake and if I want to create my own thing, um like I don't want to I don't want it to be a Jay-Z situation if I'm Apple and him leaving completely. I want to collaborate with him. I want him to allow to flourish in Web3, right? Because like if someone like Drake ends up wanting to create their own platform, and then Apple's like, no, a lot of artists are gonna be behind Drake, right? And Apple's gonna suffer. So definitely, I think it is sooner than I expected earlier, based off of the conversation you guys were having and the points that you guys brought up. So yeah.
No, yeah,
Hello.
I'm gonna leave it there before I go. We already went we already went deep into this conversation, man, and mess around and rug the entire space, but continuously talking about this. So yeah, man, we can definitely have a time and a space for this. No pun intended, to continue this conversation as well.
So Dre, are you in Utah right now, or are you still like in LA?
I'm in LA packing my bags as I speak to you, fine people, and I'm leaving out at 5 in the morning to start my trek.
That's where I think Artifact has an edge. Sorry if I just jumped in there, but not an edge, but that's where I think Artifact, like they get what's going on. Because for me, what like appealed to me at the beginning when I first like saw like the clones or Artifact when they came onto my radar was Murakami, the first thing, and then I started looking into it, and then I kind of started like paying attention and looking. I'm like, oh, these motherfuckers are gamifying shit, you know, and that's kind of like what the music industry is going to have to do. Not to go back there, but I think to tie it back to Artifact, like that is like whether people get it yet or not, it's clearly like leading that way, and that is like a fucking like 10 steps ahead of everyone else, you know what I mean? So I think, you know, I think that is the model, and I think that is going to be like some of the model to kind of like attract people to Web3 in general. And Quiet, quiet, please, Bubba. That's what's going to lead people to Web3, regardless of whether it's in fashion, whether it's in music, whether it's in technology, whether it's in like film, whether it's in whatever. It's going to be like some kind of the gamification that's going to make it fun for people, and that's going to make it different than just like a passive listening or viewing experience. That's kind of what I think, and that's where Artifact, I think, is ahead of the game in terms of everything that's going on right now, and people don't really know it yet.
That's what I was saying earlier. That's what I was saying.
It's how it's the. Remember we were talking earlier about gaming, and it's about like you don't have to go full Web3. It's like how can you merge the Web2 and the Web3, right? Like artists can still enter the Web3 without only putting music out in Web3. Like you said, the dude over here, I tagged Korean artist. He got his clone as his album cover. And so it's like, okay, you could still put your music on Web3 on Web2 platforms. That's how you get to the mass. But then have like some type of footprint in Web3 to call it your ownership, whether it's a pass access or an NFT or maybe an exclusive, like you release an album and you have an exclusive track. Like I don't know what it is, but like merging the worlds, because like there's not the world is not going to be 100% Web3 100. It's going to be a cross of a mix of everything, and so like I think it's important to be able to merge that and do it and like enjoy the benefits of Web2 while being in Web3 and vice versa. That that's what I'm looking at personally.
But I think
merge it.
what Alone Architect is saying, like gamification and Artifact is light years ahead of a lot of people utilizing that thought process. I think about the integration that comes along with gamification, the integration of digital wearables that can be forced into physical wearables, the integration of music within this gamification.
Having to pass a level to get to the next song. You know what I'm saying? Having to pass fucking levels.
Or certain songs only appearing within certain areas of that gamification, and you can only get access to this song by getting to this level. And then, oh man, you access that, it's tokenized, and now you listen to it or utilize this song on this streaming platform that's connected to the blockchain, right? It's so many possibilities that you can utilize and have within this. Like we see Snoop doing it with the Bored Ape songs and stuff that he was putting out, right? That people can utilize and create their own music off of, with Timbaland producing the track. Like there's so many possibilities that goes along with this gamification, and this is where it's all headed, and this is what they're doing right now.
I got a question for you too about Pharrell and Doodles, but we just saw Illa do it. He had a Rick and Morty commercial on Adult Swim with his clone. Right? There you go. It's that merging, and I'm curious. I'm interested to see how Pharrell is going to do the Doodles album. I'm not sure how that's going to play out, but I hope
whatever Pharrell does, it's gonna gain traction though, because he's Pharrell, so people are gonna pay attention.
For real, for sure. Because I'm happy, 110%. But think about this too, though, right? Like that tweet that Jonah put up, and I said that's what I think is aiming at. It has to do with that stuff.
Daft Punk, man, the robots are gonna come, and they're gonna have this whole futuristic robot fucking Web3 thing out of nowhere. You're gonna see that shit. There's so many possibilities. Speaking of Pharrell, imagine Daft Punk with some of those like artifact helmets. Like the Grail ones. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's so many ways.
The Gorillas, same shit, right?
100%.
Gorillas were original with it, bro. They're coming out in 2005 with this type of stuff before anybody could even understand how far it could go. But no, I would say this: you could even see the reception of the space of what us having these discussions, how integrated or separated it is within these realms. People are here for one specific area at this specific point. Whenever I start talking about shoes in this sector, it's like you can start to lose people. You start talking about music in this sector, you start to lose people. But if you talk about NFTs, talk about JPEGs, you talk about Web, they all about it. because they're here for this right here, right now. The people who we understand and integrate with, having these conversations with, aren't here yet. We're spread across the entire landscape, and we're spread thin. But once they get here, that's when you know.
Once there's that first banger, that first like Web3 song that even if it fucking doesn't stay in Web3, but it like transcends, but it initiates from here with like a huge artist, you know, and because that's what it's gonna take. I think it's gonna take that first like fucking hit, and that's the thing. What you were just saying, Dre. Like people are here to degen. People are here to talk about flipping. People are here to talk about the tech, talk about decentralization, all those things, but and talk about NFTs. But you know, it's like the second you start to kind of like the second you start. Sorry, did I just get rugged there?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're good though.
Pause. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, you know, I lost my train of thought, motherfucker. I just smoked a joint and my brain like went stupid. But
Oh, yeah. I had a question for you guys. Is there a Web3 like record label, or like not a record label, but what do you call it? Like someone that has artists under them.
I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, there's a bunch of like little things. There's like async art, and there's a bunch of like little hubs where there could be generative things, like generative album covers, where the album cover changes based on the stems in the song changing, but it'll be, let's say, the same vocal melody, but then the drums will change and the bass will change, and those things will correspond to different cover things. So there are some things like that, but nothing like huge yet, you know, and that's fuck. I lost my. I remembered it and I lost it again, and I was going to come to a point, but I'm sorry, guys.
The
I'm
try
useless right now.
the harder you try and think of it, it's you just gotta not think of it and it'll come to you.
Okay, this is what I was saying. So, as Dre was saying, like we have yet to see, like, as we were saying, we have yet to see a huge hit, and people want to talk about NFT stuff. So, a lot of the NFT music that I've come across are talking about NFTs. They're talking about flipping. They're talking about like JPEGs, and it's very much like the music is about the space, but that doesn't appeal to like people outside the space. That only appeals to like the echo chamber within here. And obviously, there's people like Illa, there's people like Vega that like transcend that, and they're not just talking about like and rapping or singing or talking about NFT stuff. So again, it's going to take that legitimate hit that is just a fucking song that just like is undeniable. That's just going to get in people's head, and it's going to have to come out of here and go into the mainstream. And that's like another way where it's going to go big, and then someone's going to make a move from there. But that's what we need. We need a fucking hit in here that's not about NFTs. That's just a legit fucking hit. That's what I think.
You know what? You know where the hits are actually coming from now? It's not from Twitter. It's from TikTok. It's not from Web3, right? I think that's where it's happening right now, which is maybe the transition is going to be after that in the future. Maybe TikTok can integrate Web3 in terms of music.
It's kind of like what Beeple did, you know? Beeple kind of came and bang, he was like a traditional Web2 artist, you know, and then he came in here and all of a sudden he made that fucking sale. And then all of a sudden everyone started talking about it. So I think, again, it's going to have to be that, and it's going to have to not be about NFTs to capture the mainstream because, you're right, Dre, man. People are very, 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 very much into like what they're into here. And you do lose people when you talk about music, when you talk about films. Look at that Project Lunatics. It's by some animators of like Simpsons and Futurama. And I mean, these people have all the clout out there. They've done such great shit, and they're building. They have their community, but it's not just because these guys were big in the Web2 world that it's going to be a success in here. Because do people here really want to pay that much attention to a storyline and to characters, and do they really want to watch a show, or do they just want to flip the thing? And that's kind of where the next kind of stage of things is gonna have to kind of go a little bit outside of what we're all degenning on in here, and that in this closed ecosystem for it to grow. And that's what I think.
That's a fact. But that's also too, I think, why people don't fully even understand what Artifact is doing, because they're integrating so much of everything into this NFT experience. Like, it's so far ahead of what the degens are used to. And they're like, man, That's way too much for me to even pay attention to. I'm just gonna go over here where I can buy this slappy seal and shut the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? Like they all this other extra clothing, shoes. Why are we buying shoes? Why are we getting this? Why we got it? You know what I mean? It's a whole lot of questions because they don't see the vision of it all or behind it all yet.
Does that turn them off, you think? Because a lot of the Web3 people are like, it's too Web2, the artifact thing. Is that a deterrent to them, you think?
100%. I think they don't necessarily think. I wouldn't say Web 2. They just don't understand it. There are some people who came from the realm like myself who fully integrated into e-commerce and arbitrage and shoes and streetwear and things of that nature. So all of these things make perfect sense to me. That's why I'm here. But it's certain people who gave no fucks about some shoestrings, and they don't understand about why they're creating these things now. It's just they think it's taken away from the bottom line, but they don't see it's extending the runway for it to be everlasting. This is evergreen what they're building. And once we find the people who do understand it, or the people who come in here who do see it, or once the masses see it, that's when they'll be like, oh yeah, of course I was down with this from the jump and I always got it. I followed it from the jump.
The hoodie is actually dope. Like, I have one of the hoodies, like the AR ones, and like I also have like the Murakami long sleeve. But I had an idea like when I got it too, and I was using the filter with my friend, and I was like, "Yo, it would be dope if you had like imagine like a hat, um, some gloves, a hoodie, some pants, and it's all augmented, and it's like Iron Man almost, where you collect all these pieces. It's like Exodia from Yu-Gi-Oh, where imagine like there's a select amount of these clothes, and you can only buy a certain number of them, or you have to mint it at random. But people would go out of their way to go and find these specific clothes slash NFTs, and once you have the whole set, it's like you're walking around with that set, and like if you know what I mean, in person, and you see someone wearing that, it's kind of a flex. But then in the future, it's like you can pull out your phone, you verify it as well, not only with the NFC, but like through the augmentation. And like if I'm flexing it in like this whole outfit in person, right? Like the average person doesn't know, but imagine like on Instagram, I have this whole fit, and I use the AR version as well, and like you can use it for your digital self, I guess, and digital marketing, right? Or digital flexing, basically, right?
Right.
I guess we lost everybody.
No, no, no. We're gonna take a moment of silence for the AR hoodie. Um, no, bro, like that's another thing Artifact needs to do better on is flexing their shit because, bro, like the AR code was open source, bro. Like you can do whatever you want with that AR if you got the skills. Like people were doing their own. People had customized their own clone to come out back of the AR hoodie, like with their own, and it's like you can do it, bro. And it's like that's the thing is it's just communication, bro. It's just like 'cause sometimes like they think Artifact is only just a fashion brand when it's like you don't even need to be in fashion and rock with clones because of from like just the tech and the creators and the avatar. It's what you make it, bro. But I guess it's the perils of operating in many lanes, which is interesting. But yeah, we're all here learning from it.
You know what's interesting? If you like, with the AR stuff, if you go to like Apple, if you go to Apple's documentation for AR, or like the website for AR, they just guide you straight to Snapchat. So like Snapchat's kind of leading the way in terms of AR, but no one really uses Snapchat, right? Like, where's Instagram at? Where's Twitter at with their filters, right? Where's TikTok at with AR, right? I think like there needs to be more improvements just in AR itself and on these social media platforms.
Facts. You make it easy, bro. I had to download Snapchat just to get my AR. Need that joint ready to go out my iPhone.
Do you guys remember years ago those, what was it, the Google glasses, when they were doing the whole like AR thing and it didn't pick up? You know, they were kind of a bit too early. And FK Twigs did those badass commercials for them. God, I love her. Please marry me, universe. I want to marry FK Twigs. Thank you. But yeah, so that shit has been in the making, and then Apple has their glasses, so it's all that stuff is just around the corner, and people are gonna lap it up, man. Once it becomes just as easy as using our phones.
I'm an AR maxi. I'm not even full VR yet. I'm all about AR. That's my shit. So until I'm waiting, man.
Have any of you guys used like Oculus or anything for on cyber and your clones?
People do. People have done it. I think Alts, Vega, a couple people are in their full VR rigged up. Um, it's being done. It just takes a little bit. Oh, Sobeys got a rig. Just takes a little bit of legwork to get it stood up. But I did like there was a tease Artifact posted about getting VRM set up for all the clones to like so you don't have to like I don't know how they're gonna do it, but making it less manual to VRM and get that plugged in so it'll be easier for us because they released the software. Sony released it, the Mocapi um, VR that makes it easy. It's like this little like devices that you put on your wrist. So it's coming. It's coming. I think Cam got it, so he's gonna play with it.
Yeah, I have like an Oculus. I haven't touched it since I got it, but like it makes you dizzy as hell. Like playing these games or just trying it out. It's clunky still, right? Like if you have you guys seen what Apple's doing with theirs? It's not only VR but AR. So like it's useful for design so that you're seeing your actual real life landscape, and you have objects say on your table or sketches like for architecture, and you can make it come to life right in front of you. So I think like as the tech progresses elsewhere, it'll definitely be useful here, especially like who's really doing AR stuff other than CloneX and Artifact, right? I don't
Well,
really.
now you're seeing it. Every project is gonna have AR and a 3D model. It's just, or they're gonna get left behind. So we're definitely one of the first ones, but every project will do it. We just saw
Facebook
ten.
is doing this really cool thing where you're able to play a game through AR. So
Yeah, like
there's
imagine
a
when
lot of
Artifact gets an AR game set up. Like, come on, man, it's gonna happen. It's just
What
gotta
Artifact
let
should
it.
do, what Artifact should do if I were them, which I'm not, but they should get in with like, again, I'm gonna go the music route because I think it's like, I again, I'm just spitballing here, but once AR glasses become more commonplace, right, and everyone has them, and all of a sudden you're going out to a show to go see, let's say, Drake or whomever, and you have the whole fucking stage that's this interactive thing where you have your glasses on, and all of a sudden you have like the lights, you have the fire, you have the band, you have the artist, and then you have all the augmented reality shit that's going on. So Artifact should get with like a huge artist and like one of the production teams that makes all these like fucking stage setups, and then create a whole like immersive augmented reality experience, like because once those glasses become as accessible and as like commonplace as our phones, you're going to be in like a concert venue, and it could be insane and wild and a whole new experience. And who else is going to be at the forefront of that than one of the companies that's already kind of like ahead of the game? So that could be like a good angle to kind of like move into where the future is going to be.
AR is gonna be implemented in every sector of our life, in public schools, to libraries, to museums, to bars. It's just a matter. It's just how they're gonna do it. That's the
You go to
problem,
the
right?
museum and you're in the prehistoric age walking with the dinosaurs. You know what I'm
Like,
saying?
come on, dude. It's gonna. This is what when like I was in school, like history was so boring, bro. And then when I got older and like viewed it as like a story and like how wild these motherfuckers were, like how wild King Alexander was, like and they made it as like they showed it as like a story, right? Then I'm like, yo, bro, I was obsessed with history, like watching World War II documentaries, like I was like geeking out over it. But in school, it was like a remember this like timeline type, but they didn't story it, gamify it. But with AR, you're able to gamify it, tell the story, make it interactive, and make it memorable, bro. Like that's why movies are like that's why we love movies, bro. Like we love like that's what makes it memorable. We see it, it's gamified, it's in our face, right? And in AR, it's just that different extension. Like going to seeing a picture on the wall and reading a description of the artist from the 1920s is cool. But imagine seeing the artist, seeing where he grew up, what he looked like, like something about him changes. It's game changing. The only problem is accessibility, and it's going to be accessible for the rich only, or is it going to be accessible for everybody? Like, are public schools going to get this technology, or is it just going to be like the rich schools get it? That's what my only concern about it. But yeah,
I mean, it's gonna start with the rich first. You know, they have hands to technology and everything. So it's gonna start there first before even the the people of poverty
it's the
starts to
schools that
get
got iPads, right? These kids already got iPads. Like
it.
when they go into the school, they got iPads at their desks, and some kids still got chalkboards. So that's.
Man, I wish I took advantage of all these things. There was the person that went to Obama's high school, and she came to our high school. We have like a lot of poverty kids, and she was like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna find the next like just savant." And she gave us all this amazing technology, thinking we're gonna do some amazing stuff. And this is how I learned Blender back in maybe 15 years ago. I wish I used the technology, man. I'm like kind of bummed out I didn't now.
Yeah, like you guys mentioned the AR stuff. I just remembered something actually. Have any of you guys like done the exhibit for Vincent Van Gogh? Like I know there's different ones. I went to one here in Toronto, but they didn't have it. I went to
Exactly. I
one
did it.
in Atlanta, and like you did the AR experience, right? Or the VR experience, I guess, where you put it on, and it was just an Oculus, and you go through um all the scenery and all the places that Vincent Van Gogh grew up in, and then it'll show you a scenery, but then it'll create a frame in front of you to show you like, oh, this is one of his paintings. But you're basically seeing the whole scenery, like you're in that area at that time. Even Starry Night, that was like the last one, and it's over like this bridge, and it looks so realistic, right? And you hear the water, you see like how these nice houses and these European houses in the farmland at that time, and all these sunflower patches, and then it creates this frame, and it's like, wow, that's where he got inspired, and that's what they're trying to show you, and like, yeah, it's dope.
It comes down to like the emotional connection, right? That's going to enable people to kind of hone in on learning or on whatever, and for those that are more tactile with things, unless like Bombay was saying, where it's just like, all right, here's the book, and it's just kind of fucking boring. Where you create that emotional connection, you're learning about whatever history, XYZ, and you're there, and all of a sudden you're part of it. I mean, your brain is going to pick up on things more if you have a little bit of a like stake in it, like emotionally. So I definitely can see AR helping with that.
I was just gonna say that, especially when Bombay mentioned Alexander, and I'm like, the Ukraine war is going on right now. I'm like, what if in the future, they can see it and they can hear people's screams and just feel everything. And I'm like, man, like talking about me being from Hawaii when they came in and held our queen hostage. Like a lot of people in America was like, yeah, we could have just killed everybody. I'm like, do you not understand what happened? I'm like, if that's the case, America would have been killed by all the other countries if they found out that it's actually all these propaganda that's saying Hawaii wanted to be part of the U.S. So
Well, they're gonna censor AR anyway, so good luck with that. But yeah, yeah, it's Yeah, brother. You know, King Henry was a crazy motherfucker, bro. They didn't tell us that shit though. But when you get older, you learn about that shit, and it's like, oh damn, this motherfucker's crazy. That's interesting stuff.
Yeah, like they talk about Gandhi. I'm like Indian, right? And but I was born in Africa, and they talk about Gandhi being like this peaceful person and stuff like that. But like the reason I'm from Africa is they brought a lot of Indian people there, but people don't realize like, oh, Gandhi was actually racist to the native Africans there, and like history is just skewed everywhere, right? And you see cancel culture right now. Like your favorite artist is gonna get canceled, right? Like this didn't happen in the '80s and stuff like that. Like there's
What
whole
is this? What is his craziest views, man? I want to hear it.
who's craziest for you? Sorry.
Gandhi. I mean, I've seen some of his, some of his
The,
speech. What is
Yeah,
his
like
most stuff you heard?
like
Nah, well,
he
hold on.
yeah.
We're not.
Subscribe when
Listen,
it
I
go
might have to.
dark,
I'm
bro.
gonna rug. This is when I rug, bro.
Subscribe when it
Keep
go
Listen,
going,
dark, bro. He been going dark early.
yeah, I'm rugging this space.
bro. We trying to entertain here, bro.
But
Subscribe
we
going, yo, when he
losing.
I'll
starts,
tell you a story that's not dark though, like about history.
nah,
Like
subscribe started talking about screams in the war, and no, he
Yeah,
going dark, bro. He
these
going dark, bro.
motherfuckers started dropping like flies in here.
He going dark, bro.
I just want to walk around with dinosaurs, man. You know, like I'm a simple man.
Subscribe when I hear war cries and death screams. Like, nah, bro, not can't do that tonight. Not tonight.
Just want to pet a baby brontosaurus, man.
I just want to go into a brothel, bro. I love you guys, but yeah, man. I'll let y'all say your final remarks. It's Friday. I'm about to get out of work soon. I might have to rug this joint unless someone wants to step up. And then that's it, bro. We're gonna see y'all tomorrow. Anyone got
No,
their
man.
closing statements? I'm
I'm packing my bags, man. Rug this motherfucker.
All right, Modus. Last few words. Alone.
oh yeah,
Subscribe.
yo, I only met you guys like a few. I don't even know how I got in this space like a few days ago, and like you guys have welcomed me, and I'm not even a clone. You know what I mean? And like you guys are dope as shit. Like you guys are funny as hell, and like yo, we got to keep running this every day, just till infinity. You know? So.
Listen, bro. Compound tap me in, man. I'm just trying to hold down the fort while they're in Utah. You know,
Bombay, Dre Millie, what is good?
we chilling.
Modus, Alone, Subscribe, Cram, Metaverse, Anya, T, Press, Polly, L, Rick Digital, Seed, The
Damn. Now we got.
Cutest,
See,
SP, Day After,
you see what
Organic,
happens, Dre, bro. You see what
bro,
happened, Dre, bro. Compound hops on the speakers, and then everybody starts coming back. You see how that
bro.
We got
works, bro?
yeah,
Yo,
compound.
hey, I know we're about to rug it, dude.
What
I just gotta say, I fucking love y'all for holding it down. I've had an ear plug in this whole time. We've been driving miles and miles and been all over the place, but I've been listening and I appreciate you guys. I appreciate everybody who's showing up, man. And I just want to jump in here and let y'all know I love y'all. Fuck with y'all heavy.
You know the vibes. What's up, Polly? Can you say some nice words for us?
Of course. So I'm overcoming my shyness and showing up with these inappropriate profile pictures, not even Valentine's Day. But yeah, I still can't change it. But um, it is truly a pleasure to have or to experience this mutual excitement about the space and the way you guys navigate the dynamic of this conversation is so smooth and so nice. It's a really welcoming and warm atmosphere every time. But then, by the way I judge, sort of, the way I see this positive aspect of me wearing this PFP, I'm pretty sure if any of your girlfriends see this screenshot with this flower attached to it, they're gonna rush into the space, and that's how we're gonna do the onboarding.
We're gonna onboard.
Hey, I
millions
wasn't
and
gonna judge
millions.
you. I saw it and I was like, wait a minute. And then I was like, okay, this girl feels like, maybe she don't know. And then now it's like you did this on purpose, and I'm I don't even know what to say, man.
It's the flower of love. That's all you gotta say. So I appreciate y'all. Polly,
Our
flower power, right? Alone.
the flower of life, the flower of power.
It's the flower of power.
So I actually shared that little clip that Press did of our St. Valentine's conversation. I shared it on Instagram, titled Testing Web3 Matriarchy Mode.
Oh my God, how great was that?
It's so good.
I know, like I love it because we're gonna just have so many more little clips that we can share with our friends and family and say, hey, look, we're not all that crazy here. We're talking about regular old things like Valentine's Day and going into public areas. So let's look at us. Just look at us. Look how far we've come.
It's beautiful.
It's a beautiful thing. And you know what? With that being said, I will close the space down. I love y'all. I'm gonna go enjoy my Friday. You guys enjoy your nights. Get outside. Go call your loved ones. Call the elders in your family. Tell them you love them. And we're gonna be here tomorrow, right, Compound?
Yeah, baby. We'll be here tomorrow. We got an artifact party tomorrow, but I'm gonna be logged in here, tapping in when I can. We'll see all you,
Dude, you should live stream it on YouTube, on Prez's YouTube.
bro. I mean, I'll message
Yeah,
Prez.
maybe not. Maybe not. Really.
I don't know
Yeah,
if you
yeah.
guys want to.
Maybe
I don't
not.
know if
But
y'all want to see that. We got Lil Shaw the Demon out here. Who knows what's gonna happen? We got Aunt Ben, and we got yeah. You know how it is.
you know how it is. Well, we'll be here tomorrow. Make sure everyone follows y'all, follows everyone. Show the love. Thank you guys. I will see you on the flip side.
Later, bro. See y'all. Good night.
Peace.
Good night.
Good night, Polly.